They're in Housos. Hey, also, do you remember?
HXL. Sorry.
Do you remember the fat pizza thing we did?
Yeah,
did that
Housos.
shit ever come out?
I don't know. It usually takes a while for stuff to drop before production, right?
Yeah, but that was like last year.
Does someone know if it's in? It's out?
I don't know. Someone said they're in Housos.
How did you know that?
Yeah, how do you know that we were in Housos?
Answer me, Aussie Gav. How did you know that?
Looking forward to the new Housos tomorrow. Oh, is it coming out tomorrow?
Sick.
Yeah, okay, it is.
Okay.
All right, wear your headphones. Let's watch this, baby.
Okay, can everyone see? Yeah, sick. Okay, I'm excited. I can't.
Oh, wait, hold up. Can you turn the USB one? The one that has
This one.
Yeah.
Tonight on Current Affairs, Australia's worst deadbeat dad. He owes thousands of dollars in child support, and it turns out he's a Bitcoin millionaire. Hey, that's what I think on
So good. I want to watch it so badly.
Amazing.
7 Mate. So does that mean it's not going to be on TV?
I think 7 Mate is a channel. It's another
Yeah, but
channel.
isn't that their online channel?
I don't think so. Not sure.
All right.
Hey, I'm pretty stoked on that.
I'm pretty happy about that too. Yeah, all three of us are on it, but let's be real. Mislav and I have a very, very supporting role.
Very
where we're
supporting.
literally supporting the microphone from not falling down.
Yeah, we're pretending to be techies, which we can't even do in real life. Yeah. But it's so cool. Like, because I grew up with Fat Pizza, so it's like, that was how many times did I go to you like, this is crazy, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, you did. Like, at least 14 times. They're saying it's going to be on TV, Channel 7, 2.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Hopefully the episode will be kicking around. I'm pretty, like, I don't know how I'm going to see it, but I want to see it.
Yeah. No, I'm sure we'll be, even if not, we'll be able to watch it on YouTube or something after.
Yeah. I'm very excited. It's like, damn, it's so good to see the way they edited it, the thong slap. Yeah. It's, now, you know what's funny about that day of shooting? The stuff that happened in real life is endlessly funnier than the episode's going to be.
Yeah, and also, sneak peek, I ripped my pants, and the entire recording is with me with my crotch ripped, so make sure you look for that.
Little packy peenie sticking out.
I wore my tight pants because I thought I was going to be on TV.
You are. I just saw you.
I was, but...
It's amazing.
It was a very hot day, and I think it
was a hot day. Yeah,
climb up into their trailer might have ripped my pants.
Remember the dude that was doing doughies and shit, like as we were filming, just doing a dude in a van going. I was like, what is going on?
But I feel like that's Polly's life. The amount of times that would have happened to him,
for sure. Hey. Yeah, so many people would just be like, I mean, do you see how many selfies he got and stuff? I mean, I asked for a selfie. I got a selfie.
Yeah, and Jordan's fans are middle class, educated, hate ADHD folks.
Yes, they are.
And
it's very intense.
So he always gets like, shade the Liberal government, whereas Polly's fans are just the bottom of the barrel.
Legends.
Legends. But most of it...
Bit more... I mean, there's a reason the show is called Housos, I suppose. But I got to say, Fat Pizza was like our generation's... What I'm saying is, like, I think most of FriendlyJordies fans at our age would be like, Fat Pizza, fudge. I nearly said it.
True. I've just gotten into Kath and Kim.
Kath and Kim's so good.
Do you actually like it?
Yeah, dude, it's so good. It's like, it is, you know, if Neighbours is like drama, suburban Australia, then Kath and Kim is like, what, you know, just every suburban, so much of suburban Australia.
Was it really big when it came out?
Massive.
I
didn't really watch it. I didn't really like it when it came out because it was the kind of show that was like on ABC. It was more sort of like when I was growing up, it was like, oh, it's for your mum. Your mum likes that. Like it wasn't the kind of show that you would watch. But now, once it's now that's been around for ages, you kind of watch it and you're like, oh, it's actually genius. It's kind of it was a slow burn, I think.
I don't know why. So when you...
Do you like it?
I mean, I like it. It's funny.
It's funny as Kel, just like, oh, Kel. And it's just like, all right, love, how's it going? No, it's so good.
He's always looking to have sex.
Yeah.
But when I was told that Kath and Kim is one of the most popular shows in the UK...
Is it?
I had that Dave Chappelle moment. It's like, why are they laughing so hard at this?
What the hell? The English is so weird. They watch Neighbours too.
Yeah, but they just watch... Because for them...
It's exotic?
Australia is just their, convict colony.
Yeah. So they're just sort of like, let's laugh at them.
let's have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
They're all doing that.
All time, have you seen All Aussie Adventures?
Dude, I haven't seen much. I've just gotten into Aussie content.
Okay, you got to see Russell Coit's All Aussie Adventures.
Russell Coit's All Aussie.
It's Kel.
Okay. Oh, it's Kel.
Yeah, but it's his own show, and it's just been like, I'm going to show you how to, bag a boar or whatever. And he's like out in the bush, and he's just like, it's pretty slapsticky. It's really funny. Like he's always getting like hurt and stuff, and he's just completely incompetent. Like it's like if someone that had no business making a YouTube or a show of like how to survive in the bush failing.
I've realized that Australians used to make good content.
Yeah.
Like, I saw...
Even The Chaser was good, even though Jordan hates it. Like, it wasn't bad.
I saw Muriel's Wedding.
Classic.
That's a fucking classic.
Yeah.
And it's a good one, too.
It is. I haven't seen it.
It's so Aussie.
So Aussie. Also, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert is pretty good.
I haven't gone into that much. Where's the one where they live in a lighthouse? Which one's that? Around the Twist?
Yeah, that's amazing. Have you seen Storm Boy?
You got to give me a list. You should have given it to me when I had COVID.
Oh man, you got to see Storm Boy. Yeah, I mean, Round the Twist was great. Plasmo's amazing. There was a
good game. Someone saying good game.
Good game.
I haven't seen good game.
I was on that because a friend of mine in high school made a movie to win a computer, and he won the competition. And I was in the movie, and I think Jordan was in it too. It was in high school, and he won the computer. So I was on Good Game. But Good Game was just for nerds. Did you tell the boys when you met them? The Good Game boys? Yeah, I did.
You did?
I did.
They didn't remember it.
They didn't care, yeah. But, I mean, Good Game was like... It was a show for gaming nerds. So let's not include that in, like, classic content.
Yeah, but, everyone's watching us on Twitch.
That's true. Times have changed, dude.
Let's not alienate our audience.
The nerds have taken over, and I say if you can't beat them, join them.
All right, should we look at some of the segments?
Absolutely. I'm enjoying this. This is kind of this is like the jazz hour. Jordan's away, by the way, because people keep asking. It's Two's birthday.
Jordan's girlfriend's birthday, so
he's not here, but you're gonna get Shawarma FM, and it's not. We're not taking red pills here tonight. We're taking blue pills. We're just chilling. The election's over. We can cruise. The rest of our lives can just be finally in the lane I want us to all be in, which is the slow lane.
Who's scared of monkeypox?
Let's talk. Look, I don't know a thing about this. Let's discuss.
Do you remember when we were doing the election stream and I was looking for Channel 9 and I stumbled on some Indian Channel 9? And they were showing
I saw the monkeys.
Videos of monkeys.
I didn't know
and Jordan was just like, what idiots? They're still talking about their monkey war from fucking 6 months ago.
That's not what it was.
No, while we were like, no, Albo is winning. No, he's losing.
So wait, is this like a new coronavirus?
Well, it's worse because it's got like it's not worse in the sense. It's worse and it's better.
What's the
worse because
I don't know anything.
It's more deadly.
Great.
It's like 3 to 6% fatality. It's better because it's less contagious.
How did it come about?
So that's what they're trying to figure out, but it's most likely sex is what's spreading it.
Fucking
so
monkeys.
some guy,
monkeys.
And the other thing is, okay, this is the...
It's true, isn't it?
No, I'm not trying to be controversial, but this is how the news said it was. It was like, we're not saying that this is a gay problem, but in all of our samples up till now, everyone that's had it is either gay, bisexual, or has recently had sex with a man. So apparently some guy came from Nigeria and brought it to the UK, and all of our Aussie boys are in UK shagging them. Brought it here and in like Europe and America.
Fuck.
But I don't think it's like exclusively a gay thing. But they're trying to figure out if it's. It seems like it's a sexual thing at the moment.
It's just.
So you, sir, be careful on Tinder.
I don't have any luck on Tinder. Don't worry.
Well, Grindr too. That's probably.
There's the one I gotta be careful.
So they're saying so. Someone fucked a monkey. Look, they're not saying.
Isn't that what they said how AIDS started?
Which I think is also a conspiracy theory.
Right.
I think it's from like some African countries like eating squirrels and rats. That's where it started from. And they also have immunity to it because it's like it's an old thing.
Oh
and
God.
small.
Where is it in Australia?
There's the last I heard there was one case in Sydney and one case in Melbourne.
So it's not going to get isolated.
It look, here's the thing. Just to like make sure that people aren't freaking out, they're saying it's not corona. Like you don't need to be that afraid.
Are you sure? Death rate's higher.
Yes, but you know Ebola. Remember Ebola? That never eventuated. That had a death rate of 90%.
Holy shit! And how did that start?
Yeah, like those wet markets in Africa where they were like eating exotic wild animals.
Fuck.
You just had to like bleed out if you got Ebola.
Oh my God.
But like Ebola, Ebola was also not nearly as contagious as like an airborne coronavirus.
Shit.
So I think we should be fine, but it looks pretty fucked. Look at this. This is what happens when you get it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like blisters or chicken pox like thing all over your skin.
God, it's leprosy. Great.
Is leprosy still a thing?
I think it still exists, yeah.
But either way, look, I don't think it's that much of an issue as yet, unless I'm wrong. Contagion much. Have you seen Contagion?
No.
It's a movie
Is
about a contagious disease.
For fuck's sake. I'm so...
But you know what's cool about those movies? What's cool about coronavirus is that all those movies that were about these massive pandemics, it was always like, there's a disease. The population doesn't even know it. And it's already too late. But with like coronavirus, we kind of figured out that we can control it. The movies always showed like once it starts going around and then like there's enough people, the movie sort of assumes that there's no way this can be stopped, which is why the population dwindles and some people still survive. But with coronavirus, it's pretty remarkable that
it is amazing.
We have to tell everyone to stay home and people do it.
Did you read that like apparently I read some I didn't look into it, but it was National Geographic. It said if you've had coronavirus, your life is shortened by 10 years.
That's bullshit.
Really?
I mean, maybe for some it's like shortened by several years. But I don't know if that's a rule.
Okay, because it was National Geographic, so I was like, it's got to be true.
Dude, my COVID lasted a day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know if that will shave off 10 years.
I really should have read the article. I was too scared. I was like, nah, I don't want to read it.
Yeah, I wasn't reading about monkeypox for that reason, but once I did, I actually calmed down because it's not that big of a deal.
Do you think it'll get contained?
Yes, I think it will.
Jesus Christ. Humans are fucked. The things that we can create. Our own downfall, eh?
Okay, one of the comments, I've got to read it, even though we're not doing comments, but disregard this person's opinion. The show is garbage. Watch the movie with Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt.
What?
Oh, that's funny.
I don't get
He's
it.
saying our show is garbage. Disregard your opinions and get your facts from a movie starring Bruce Willis.
I second that. I second that
too.
notion. I'm actually...
And so I was like, yeah, that movie is great.
Always those fucking movies.
Well, so update on Albo.
Yeah.
Albo is in
Japan.
Tokyo, Japan. And he was there for a meeting with the Quad members, India, America, and Japan.
Quaddy.
Yeah. Trying to say how he's pretty serious about China as well.
Oh, I see.
And the Chinese, I think the foreign minister called Albo and congratulated him.
Okay.
This is a funny thing. There's a lot of fake news being spread on Chinese Weibo in China, where they're saying that Albo is the second prime minister of Australia to speak fluent Mandarin. He doesn't speak a word because they like Kevin Rudd so much. There's like this news circulating around there where like Albo is known as little brother of Kevin Rudd.
I like that. Hey, that was the biggest thing for me, and I'm like, yay, don't have to go to war.
But you know, this is what I actually wanted to talk about. Albo is in this precarious situation now where the Chinese government is going to approach him initially to sort of test waters and say, are you willing to play ball? Are you willing to play ball with us? What's going on? And then on the other hand, he'll have America telling him, yeah, look, you know, you can't fuck this up.
Yeah.
So now he's somewhere in between where he would be like, I think he has some tough decisions to make.
But he's the right guy for it. I really am faithful, man, like that
He's the right guy, but to actually normalize relations with China would have a small opportunity at the beginning.
Right.
Which I think he wouldn't be able to take.
Really?
I think he sort of made it clear that he is not like willing to just sort of reverse some of the rhetoric from ScoMo.
Right.
But we'll see how that goes.
It will be difficult.
Because Biden has gone pretty hard. He recently, at that meeting at Quad, he made a new sort of revelation, which has really confused most of the world. So he was asked, it wasn't even a speech that he prepared. It was in response to a question. He was asked that if China tries to invade Taiwan,
Jesus. Yep.
what would you do? And he said that we would defend Taiwan. And that is, on the surface, pretty like normal, but that actually changes a lot of things because that was an American foreign policy.
Shit.
They had something called ambiguous stance, which is that they never really said what their policy was.
Yeah.
But once you commit
Yeah.
to a policy, but then immediately after, the State Department came out and said that, basically kind of saying that that was a gaffe.
Oh.
And our policy is consistent.
Okay.
But then, like, the question is, like, this ambiguity is getting even more serious where, like, people, like, just have a policy. And if Biden has this policy that if China attacks Taiwan, then we will engage militarily with them, then that puts us in the situation of, like,
shit,
we're going to be helping them do that.
Well, you know, fucking what are you doing, Biden? Relax a bit, you know?
But you know what? I don't think China... again, I said that about Ukraine, and then I eventually had to, like, apologize and shit. But
why? What did you say? You didn't say anything.
I don't think... I mean, I said that I don't think Russia is going to invade Ukraine. So I'm going to say that again. I don't think Taiwan is going to be invaded by China.
With your track record, we're fucked.
Yeah, with my track record, we're fucked. But, like, I watched this video. Have you heard of the channel Caspian Report? You really got to watch it. I'll watch some of that Australian pop culture TV shows, and you watch Caspian Report.
The Kasabian Report.
Kasabian Report.
For sure, I'll watch it.
But it just shows it was explaining the sort of situation that China is in. Like, most of their trade comes from the South China Sea.
Okay.
And pretty much all the countries and naval bases around there are under de facto American control.
Yeah.
And which increases. So basically, if China wants to beat the U.S., first of all, it would be so difficult because all the waterways are controlled by the U.S. But the only chance that they have is if they're able to, like, have a friendly Taiwan and they sort of go into the open ocean before America can then circle them in South China Sea. And which is why, for them, Taiwan is extremely important.
It is kind of strange that the first thing that Albo has done is to be, like, going to, you know, AUKUS or whatever. Like,
it was already scheduled.
Okay.
He didn't like decide to do it.
Because, like, surely the Chinese, like, you'd hope that this could pump the geopolitical breaks a little bit on the tensions, right? Like
It's much bigger than Albo.
yeah.
All Albo can do, I suppose, is resume talks with China. Not fix problems, but resume talks. So there is a window where
Isn't it crazy he's in? But anyway, go on.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think they'll be definitely much better than the coalition.
For
doing
sure.
it. But China's a tricky thing, man. China is way bigger than Australia right now. I mean, both metaphorically and literally.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know how much Albo can really do. I suppose, but like establishing communication with China is gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's much harder to go to war when you're talking to each other as opposed to, like
That's good.
second guessing what the other person is thinking.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But anyways, about the Caspian report, so they were showing, it was essentially a take on why China continues to be communist. And they were basically showing how China has a first world country, a second world country, and a third world country within it. So all of China's east, the coastal belt, is basically a first world country. Most of the Chinese population lives over there. They've now gone into like high end manufacturing, value added stuff. If that in itself was a country, it would be something like Japan. So that in itself would be massive. Then you've got the sort of states that border the coastal areas, and that's the second world.
Yep.
Where they've developed infrastructure and they've developed like
Ghost towns.
no, that's the third world. So when you go deep into its east, where the population even changes, they're not Han population. That's where the Uyghur Muslims are, and in the north, and that's basically a third world country at this point.
Gotcha.
And the way China, so what the Caspian report guy was arguing, it's an interesting take. He was saying that if it was just up to the coastal areas, they would literally not give a shit about all of the east because they themselves are pretty self-sufficient. They're extremely affluent.
Yeah.
Their money is being recycled into the east, which is their Wild West. It's like they're building these massive bridges and roads that no one travels on. So for the coastal people, it's like, why are you wasting our money?
Yep.
But from the Chinese Communist Party's perspective, it's like, if we don't do this, we will lose control of the East. And every time we've lost control of the East, we've been invaded. And then this like pearl oyster that is coastal China is threatened by forces from the East. Or in other regards, if the U.S. Navy or if the South China Sea is used to invade them, then they've got strategic depth to go back.
Yeah.
And then make sure that they beat
smart.
their enemy. It's smart, but what that means is there's a constant money being recycled from the coastal areas to the east.
Isn't that every country though, to a degree?
To a degree, it's every good country. To a degree. So like even in the U.S.,
even in the
got
States,
California, which is much more
huge
affluent
economy.
like fucking Dakota. So certain amount of money is
even New York, but it's more. Than that,
New York. These are big surplus areas. But China they do a lot more than, so America does the same, but China uses more money than even America does to recycle that surplus and put it in like arguably dead projects in the East. But their hope is that one day, for most human or economic development, the idea was that you build infrastructure for demand. So if there's a lot of people in Brisbane, then you have a high-speed rail network to facilitate it. China does that, is like, well, they're like, we'll build a high-speed rail network, and once we put it there, people will use it.
Yeah.
Which sometimes doesn't work in the East, where there's like literally 5 people roaming around. It also sort of feeds their infrastructure industrial complex, so it's a way for them to like actually make money as well.
Right.
But either way, what I'm saying is like,
that's well, it's good for them.
It's good for them, but then that's where the communism comes in, where like the coastal population doesn't necessarily agree with the Communist Party in many regards, but the Communist Party says, shut up.
Yeah.
For your own safety, we need to do this. And if you don't agree with us, then you can fuck off.
I mean,
because we are in control.
It's the same argument. We've talked about it a million times, like the hell?
What are you reading?
A friend of mine is on the chat. I just realized.
What's he saying?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Something a little bit explicit.
Oh, sorry. Someone just mentioned you're mixing up West and the East. I did realize.
I thought
I'm mixing
so,
up
yeah.
West and the East. So
Yeah, I thought so.
everything that I said, opposite.
Yeah. I thought so. I was like,
the West is the Wild West, and
that's-
East is the affluent part.
that's kind of what I thought. Yeah.
Where's Jordan? Jordan isn't here today. This is the last time we'll say it. Jordan's girlfriend's birthday, and he's out celebrating with her. Yeah, what's your friend saying?
Oh, he's just being a little naughty boy. He's being a little naughty little tyke. Anyway,
So for Albo is in a very tricky situation with these massive geopolitical events. He needs to sort of tread the line really carefully. He can't be perceived to be too pro-China either.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that, but I still think it's going to be a much better relationship. All I was going to say was like that's the thing we talked about before, where like the advantages of like a one state party is that like you just move in a direction and there's no like we're going to build a hospital and you do it in like some insane amount of time as opposed to like 10 years and then it gets cancelled and it costs $1 billion.
Have you
like,
seen their bridges? I saw a documentary
I haven't.
Chinese bridges. They are insane.
Really?
They have these massive bridges that are like tens of kilometers
Better
over
than the
ocean.
Sydney Harbour Bridge?
Unfortunately, they kind of are. Some of them are so
steel
high. They're
fucking
like
thing.
300 meters above, and they're over this river. Like, they're just
It's
feats
crazy.
of great engineering.
It's crazy what they've managed to do.
Elon Musk was talking about this. He was saying that America is doomed because we're talking about like how we can work less, where China is like, it's just accepted that they'll work till like 2-3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, so it really is that really the case? It really is a thing of like, it's just like, the Simpsons joke where it's just like, hey, Homer's got one of those electric cars, and he's just put Ned's head down and so he can't see, and then just goes, and he's like, one of those American electric cars. Like, is it really a thing that like, there's another joke in The Simpsons too, where it's like it's like a Halloween episode and there's gravestones, and it's just like John Wayne, someone's cat, and then one of the headstones is like the American workmanship, like American work, like ability or whatever the fuck it is. Like, I mean, I am definitely an example of like Homer when Grimes just like, if you're in another country, you've died long ago, and he's like, you know what I mean? You'd have starved long ago, but like. So is it a cultural phenomenon for them to just work to the bone or something like that, to work themselves really?
I think, yeah, it is. But I have a different observation about Western culture. Like, even Australia. When I came here, I noticed a couple of things that were different.
Chaka Siki.
No, well, there's that. But then there's also something else. So there's strengths and weaknesses to the work culture here. Where the weakness is that there's less can-do attitude about things. So if there's some new work thing, a new work assignment, someone that hasn't been trained for it will rarely raise up their hand and say, I'll do it. In other countries, there'll be more of those people. They'll be like, I don't know this, but I'll figure it out. But then there's also something else with Australians, that even the lowest common denominator, if you're a tradie or if you're like some big corporate executive, there's this innate sort of innate tendency to whatever you do it as well as it can be, and really in a methodological way. So like, if something needs to be done in a way, you don't cut corners.
Yeah.
You try to do it exactly the way it's, which is amazing.
That's probably more of a third world thing.
Which is absent in the third world. The third world, they're always finding shortcuts.
Cut short, it's not about shortcuts.
It's not about shortcuts.
It's like putting it in and actually doing it properly.
Yeah, most Australians do that. And then the other thing that I've noticed about Australians is there's a lot of emphasis on, you know, the people that chuck in sickies or the people that don't really want. Yes, those people exist, but they don't really rise. Australia is like cool enough, and this is one of the great things that even if you are that, you won't starve.
Yeah.
You'll have a certain amount of money that
For sure.
You won't be affluent.
Yeah.
But you won't die, which in the third world you would if you were doing that shit, right?
There's a safety net. There are social safety nets.
Even without the safety net, even your work has a safety net. Where, like, if you're shit at your job, you're not going to be promoted, but you're not necessarily going to get fired.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing just enough.
That's true.
You won't get fired.
Yeah.
Which is why, so there's that population that does that sort of reaps the benefits of that. However, then there's another subsect of the population that understand that there is a fallback. So I'm going to be like super ambitious and I'm going to try to work really hard and do well, not because I have to, but because I want to.
Yes.
And that makes certain individuals really, really good at their job.
Yeah. I think that's pretty spot on, actually.
So in Australia, you would have some banker who is amazing at their work, or some IT professional. So like one of my friends is a Paki dude who works in IT at one of these mining companies that's now diversifying into electrical. And he was saying that most of the IT department is just brown people. It's like Indians, Pakis, whatever. And then there's a few white Australians that are in it. And he's like, and those white Australians are fucking beasts at the job. Right. There's a couple of them, and then there's like 30 Indians. But those two didn't join IT because their parents said that would be something that might get you citizenship. That's something that'll give you a stable income. They got into IT because they were fucking nerds about computers.
Yeah.
So they'll obviously be better.
Yeah.
Than the person that was sort of told by their dad that IT is a good opportunity.
Passionate.
They're super passionate. Yeah. So there's like, I
know
always say that
like
yes,
that.
people in America can be lazy and they're doing that. There is that group of people, but then there's another group of people that are fucking beasts.
That's
and they're
true.
way better than some Chinese guy who's been told you have to work till 2 a.m.
Do you think
because these motherfuckers want to work till 2 a.m.
Do you think there is that in China though? Like, because I saw something in like a Vice documentary that was like, there's a thing called like 9/7 or something, 7/9, 6. It's like some shit like that, 6/9. Where it's like you work 6 days a week, 9 to 9. That's like a cultural phenomenon. Like, or some shit like that. I think that's what it was, 6 days a week. But like, do you think that...
But I don't think that's actually a problem either. France is trying to do a 4-day week.
Really?
So have 3 days a week.
No.
But now that we're not all working in factories, if you're working in a factory, if you're in a third world country, you're in Bangladesh, where most of your money comes from textile exports or something, then it makes sense if someone brings a policy who's like, we'll make 3-day weekends instead of 2. There's an incentive for the oligopoly or the capitalists over there to go like, that's not a fucking good idea. The more towels we make and export, the more money we're gonna make. But in countries like that's whatever you're doing. In countries like Australia and America, where it's not really the amount of factory hours that you're doing that makes it, but how good your design is for certain technology. If you're doing 4 days, but the quality of those 4 days is better than a 6-day week, that would work perfectly. It wouldn't work in a third world country, but it would work here.
Well, would it work in China?
Maybe not now, but like in a decade or two, it would work there too. Yeah,
I thought already that'd be at a point where there's specialization.
But like I said, part of China is the coastal eastern China is.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of other Chinese that aren't there yet.
Yeah.
Whereas in Australia and America, most of the population is affluent enough.
Do you think there is more of a cutthroat spirit to work in America versus Australia or not?
100%. Actually, Jordan's girlfriend told me this because she was in Boston.
Yeah.
She used to work at a law firm.
Boston.
And she was...
Go Red Sox.
She went to Boston, and people from Boston would come to Sydney. They had like some tie-up. And she was telling me...
Exchange kind of thing.
That the work culture is completely different.
Really?
In Australia, if you work past 5 p.m., your boss comes and tells you, go home. In America, at these corporate institutions... it's accepted to work till 8 p.m. Sorry, not accepted. It's expected to work till 8 p.m. And all of her American friends, when they came here and worked, said that this is the best corporate culture we've ever. Like, everyone's just way relaxed over here. And so, yes, there is a difference in that, too.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense. That's kind of what I thought, but...
I was actually told by this Indian guy who lived in Australia and lived in Canada. And he worked at corporate sectors of both Australia and Canada. And I asked him what country is better. And he had a really interesting observation, too.
He's like, I'm just imagining them being like, they're the same, but Canada, they're way more high. That's, you know.
He said that Australia is amazing, the best, for a few things. One, first of all, the climate is better, but that's obvious.
Yeah.
But then...
Not right now, am I right?
But he said the corporate culture is amazing, too. The work-life balance in Australia is great.
Right.
He said, so if that was your biggest consideration, and for most people that would be your biggest consideration... There is no place better than Australia. However, in Canada, he said, because he was speaking from an immigrant's perspective. He was an Indian guy who was an immigrant in both Australia and Canada. And he was saying that Canada, generally speaking, is a lot more accepting towards immigrants. So he said, when you go to Canada, the population around there are happy to see you because their entire thing is, we'd be nothing without immigrants. Because Canada was just empty, right? So there was a lot of, it's a bit like... America was 100 years ago.
What do you mean? It's full of Scots.
Yeah, but they've got a much bigger immigrant population compared to Australia.
Oh, okay.
Because for them, they don't see that as a problem. They think that that's just how they increase their economic pie. So he was saying when you go to like Canada, because there's a much larger immigrant base over there, you end up enjoying things that you would at home. So he's like, the food that I would have in Canada would be better than the food in India.
Whoa, what?
It would be because there's so many of them over there that they've actually perfected. It's kind of like having Mexican food in the US as opposed to Australia.
Gotcha.
We wouldn't have good Mexican food because there's 5 Mexicans.
Yeah.
But America would because they have such a big immigrant population. So it was saying Canada was good. It feels more like home, and the rest of the community is really, really accepting. It's easier to adjust into social life in Canada than it is in Australia. But, again, like the US, the expectation is that you work longer hours.
Really?
Your boss, if you want a promotion, the boss expects you to work past 5 p.m.
Shit.
And in Australia, he was saying it's the opposite, where like the boss would be like, time for beers. Like,
yeah, that's so interesting. That makes me very... proud of the Aussies.
Yeah.
You know, just to have that kind of, it is that kind of thing. Like if whenever I worked any job that would be considered corporate, if you overstayed, they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Let's go. Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like everyone's just like, get the fuck out.
I actually didn't know this. When I first started my like semi-corporate job, I had the same thing. It was like, oh yeah, to do a good job, you just need to like work long hours and work crazy. And then very soon, my manager had that discussion with me. He was like, no, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Go home. We're all going for beers. Come to me. And that's how you fucking get promoted here. If you're like, when your social, your recruitment happens after work when you're at the pub, are your jokes good?
Exactly.
That's when you become popular.
It's sort of probably like the Japanese salaryman. You know? I mean, probably not that intense, but they have like drinking competitions, and like the person that like the man in the suit that stays not passed out the longest is like, he gets the deal.
He gets the deal.
You know, apparently that's a thing.
Yeah.
It's so strange. It's so strange hearing that. It really makes me realize how lazy I am too. Like, to do like the corporate, I'm just a privileged little shit. I couldn't do it anymore, I don't think. Like the sort of, I don't know.
I don't think you're meant for that. You're an artist at heart.
I know, but I also like, you know, like oysters.
Yeah.
I want the perks of corporatism.
Dude, you just need to make it big as a musician.
It's like the hardest thing to make it in, but that's it. I got to just try my best.
All the oysters in the world.
I know. It's interesting. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it is fascinating for some reason, thinking about that different culture, different workplace corporate cultures and what it takes to get to a certain level. Like, you know, I have a cousin in America who's my dad's cousin, and he's like such a legend. But you know, he's like very much like 9 to 5, works for a company. Like he moved from Pittsburgh to Texas for the company, and like he's like just very like by the book and kind of just like these are my you know, like this is my like vacation time, and like I have dental and healthcare, and I just want to keep my job and it's just like. It probably shows the kind of how lucky we are to be in Australia, because like, you know, there's just probably more safety nets, especially, you know, when like there's a progressive government and there's the ability to, I mean, you know, you can be like a like bong smoking, like do nothing and like save probably.
Well, I don't know if this is true anymore, but I remember when I was a kid, my auntie who lived in Australia used to tell me that if you were on Centrelink in Australia, you could still get a Bali trip every year.
Fuck.
But I don't know if that's true
Probably.
anymore.
Oh, the libs have made it harder. I mean, I've abused the system once in my life, you know, like, I don't know. It's a hard one. Like, I don't know the details. That's probably not the case anymore. But honestly, it is it's good. It's good. You know, it's like, and I think Aussies do take it for granted for sure, including me. You know, I think everyone can kind of just be like, it's easy to kind of forget how hard it can be. But then you get into the sort of philosophy of life where it's almost like I don't know. I feel like I was thinking about this today. I feel like you need to have. Do you ever find in your life, if something shit happens to you, you sort of equate it by, like, it sort of smacks you in line, and then you sort of attack. Something, that bad thing minimizes the problems you thought you had, and it allows you to attack them pretty quickly, because you're just like, oh fuck, and you're like feel like shit, and then you kind of like, oh god, like it's almost like I need fear to motivate me sometimes. Then I'll just knock out things that are like, oh, I don't want to do that. It gives you perspective. Yeah.
But that apparently, they did like a research on that. Apparently that just comes from a much higher burst of adrenaline in your body. When shit hits the fan.
So you've got the adrenaline and then you just get the shit done.
And you can get the shit done. And you don't get that adrenaline until there's that fear factor.
You know, that happens to me all the time.
It happens to most people, I think.
Yeah, like it's like the biggest motivator for me. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. It's like that shouldn't be, I should be able to, certain things do help, like exercise and endorphins, and that does help, but you know, you got to get out there and run. Otherwise, something that's just like happens that's bad, you kind of, it gives you an energy. But it's such it's strange. It's so, seems very, like antithetical, like not, like it seems so illogical and animalistic and dumb.
Yeah, but we're not too logical, are we?
No.
It's just that if you had an assignment that was due in 10 days and you had to write 10,000 words, you could either write 100 words
a day,
or you would have those 10,000 words right at the end if you were going to do it one night before. The thing is, you would assume the logical thing is to just do it, but like it almost is harder to do 100 words a day than to do 10,000 words in one night. Yeah. It's like having a superpower.
Yeah. And guess which I did.
You did it every day, piece by piece, and made it perfect.
I don't think I've ever done that once in my life. It's always the last minute.
Yeah.
And like I stay up all night, and like the fear just pushes me over the edge. But like, I don't like that.
No one does.
Does that happen to you? Yeah. You're quite organized and logical. You're a dad. Come on.
No, I'm not. But the difference is that you would do it a night before, and my fear would kick in 3 or 4 days before. That's the only difference. But for the first 6 days when I should be working, I'm not doing it either.
Look, I was like that too. I'm not competent enough to do it the night before. I knew that. So I would be like 2-3 days before.
Yeah.
And just stress, and it would always get done. But like, you know, it's annoying. There's got to be a better way. I mean, what motivates this? So I was really thinking about it the last few days. The things that motivate you. There's a variety of things, but that's definitely up there for me. Traveling helps too because you get to have some perspective, and you're physically not able to do the things you want to do because you need to be at home a lot of the time. So then you're kind of itching. You're like, when I get back, I'm going to do this, this, and this because you're not there. You're like, oh, I should. Like, I need to do this. It's almost like I need to do this thing. Why didn't I do it before? It was right in front of me. And like, then you're like, well, now it's so far away. And like, I'm again anxious to get it done because it's so far. It's like, now I got to do it. And then you get back and you tend to do it. So there's these things. That's just another way of fear, though. It's just another fear.
Yeah, it's another fear. It's just that fear is coming. But what you said about exercise, apparently that can help. Where
it does.
You sort of stimulate that adrenaline through exercise. And when you're done with that exercise, you kind of already have adrenaline. You go like, all right, let me channel this into the work now.
I have to say, it's a cliche, but it's completely true. When you're exercising, it's so crazy, but the noise in your head, and I haven't been exercising recently at all, I've been really bad, but the noise in your head, it's like, say you've got like a jumble of thoughts. They just are listed. They just go, and they just go into a list, and you can just read them one by one. You're like, that thing. And you also come up with some good ideas. You know, it's so those are the ways to do it.
Dude,
for sure.
Can you try this once? And I know it's going to be one of the most difficult things for you to do.
Alex Jones serum.
Even more difficult than Alex Jones serum.
Do you remember when we did that? Was that with you? Yeah.
I have experimented with this.
Acid.
The point where I am most creative and let's just say the best at doing my work is just after waking up in the middle of the night. So when you're sleeping, let's say you sleep at 10 and you wake up at 7 a.m., right?
No, but yeah.
No, or like maybe you sleep at 1 and you wake up at 10.
Right.
Right? If you put an alarm on your phone and force yourself to wake up at 4 a.m. and get in front of a computer or grab a guitar, I guarantee you that. I will guarantee you that your work would be, you'd look at it and you go like, this is the best work I've done.
Two things. I do have some of my most creative moments at really odd hours, late at night. I have them, epiphanies. Another thing too is if I wake up early, I feel more clear-headed.
It is remarkably
so that's
different.
kind of the, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Both of those things are what you're talking about. One, I haven't slept enough. The one, I haven't gone to sleep yet. And I do feel like whenever I wake up early, even if I feel like shit, I have to say it's just the fear again because I feel like shit. I'm like, I'm scared, and then it's the fear, and then I get things done. But I don't know if that's what you're saying, but it's that does happen for me. That does.
I don't know why it happens, but I've even heard about certain elite sportsmen taking a nap just before they go and play.
Really?
So they'll literally ask someone to wake them just before they're about to go and play. They'll take like a 10-minute nap because apparently you're clearest when you've just woken up.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I've got
that probably
medical evidence to back this.
No. It probably makes sense. I mean, I think the worst thing to do in the morning is roll over and go on social media. There's no doubt that's the worst thing you can do. 7
or 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, that's normal. That's what I do.
Apparently, that's different. Some people, there's I think 20% or 10% of the population can sleep for 4 hours and be perfectly fine. And they're usually one of the more productive sorts of people. But for most of the people, you need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Or I think it's actually 6 to 7 hours of sleep, depending on how old you are. The older you get, the less time you need.
Definitely. My parents don't. Someone said diet must be a huge factor.
Diet?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that apparently is also a thing, right? That's why like people that are on ketosis are functioning better because they're releasing, I don't know, I call it brain juice. But I think from my experience, and I'm the worst, even though I'm saying this, I don't do it, but a carb-free diet is so much better for your mental sort of sharpness.
A friend of mine, my engineer actually was just saying that he's doing this thing where he's eating extremely minimal carbs, if not no carbs, and eating in an 8-hour window. So you don't eat, I don't know what 8 hours is, like 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. No, that can't be right. Yeah, it must be. Yeah. So like, you wait in the morning, you have a coffee, I guess, and then you eat it. You can eat between 12 and 8, but that's it. 16
hours. That's intermittent fasting.
Yes.
And if you've got the discipline,
it's really good for you
to do it, then there's nothing better than that.
But see, the problem for me is I get cranky if I haven't eaten something, and like, I like the feeling of feeling full. And sometimes I like eating healthy as well. I mean, I eat pretty well generally. It's a balance, but like convenience and just the feeling of being like, ooh, yeah, yummy food in my tummy.
Dude, everyone loves that.
Yeah, but like it's like such a comfort for me that like just adding sex, but like it's such a comfort for me that it's just like I get pissed off at myself about it. I'm like, what? I don't want to. It's stupid. Like I should just be having like salad and chicken. I keep telling myself to do it, but it's too. I'm just. I need to sort it out. I don't know. I really want to. Like I'm pretty good. Like when we eat on the pod, I'll get vegetarian a lot. Yeah. But like, and I love that. But I can be really bad as well. Like I've eaten shit this week.
I don't think there's anything like, and this is going to be triggering for some people, but I don't think vegetarianism has anything to do with it. You can have a really shit diet and be vegetarian.
No, absolutely. But like,
there's like chicks at work that I used to have that would be like vegans, but their entire diet was hot chips.
Absolutely, you're right about that. But like, okay, I'm happy to eat. I like veg. I don't like to eat a fuckload of meat, but I should really be doing like, I should be like eliminating carbs and then doing like veggies and like lean meat. Trying that. Well, do you know, I should try that. But like, I kind of need some prick to be like, here's your light and easy meal. Here, I'll just pop it down here. Like, I think I kind of want to do light and easy.
Why? You don't need that. You can actually cook.
I can.
You shouldn't say that.
I know I can cook. You're right. I just have to be a little bit more proactive about it. Like, I think. What should I need to make a big meal that's like healthy, but what? You know, what do I do, Ali? Help me.
Well, look, I'm not the best person to be asking this about, but
you
should have like I suppose chickpeas, lentils,
and rice. That's a Simpsons joke.
Not rice.
Chickpeas, lentils, maybe some chicken.
So no bread, no rice.
Maybe like chicken stew.
Yeah, as long as you're not having with rice and bread.
Yeah, I don't really like eating. I don't like bread anymore unless it's really good quality too. Like Jordan's always just like, let's get garlic bread. I'm like, it's shit.
It is shit.
It's just
a soggy piece of.
It's shite.
This is true. But have you heard of John Cena's diet plan?
No.
It's summarized in a sentence. If it breathes or is green, I'll eat it. Nothing else.
Breathes or is green.
Yeah.
God, it sounds so much more scary when you say it breathes.
No, breathes. Breathes. Like takes big gusts of air in its lungs.
Yeah, breathes. That's what I said. That's what I said. That's scary hearing that.
No, it's caveman.
Yeah. I mean, I think I want to try like last night, I usually have no self-control with food, right? Like I think I am a fat fuck, but like if my metabolism was like really bad, I'd be fucked. But you know, even last night, like at like, I don't know, I had dinner really early and then at like 2 a.m. I was like, I'm hungry. And then I was just like dreaming of Mexican food. Like, oh, yummy Mexican food. Oh, yes, nachos. Oh, yummy guacamole and salsa. And then I was just like, I just told myself, when you wake up in the morning, you won't even feel hungry. It's just, so I didn't eat anything. And I woke up in the morning and I didn't feel hungry and I felt fine and I was glad that I didn't eat anything.
Yeah, but that's also, look, I know the theory and I am a victim of this exact thing. But in theory, the only way you can beat that, because what your body does is, particularly when it's like, when it's getting most of its energy from carbohydrates,
carbs.
What it does, it spikes your sugar levels and brings you down in waves. So every 4 hours, your body is like, okay, I've just run out of... Because what it does is it takes the food and then stores the excess fat because it's saving for like that time when it expects you to starve, because our body is still like tuned for hunter-gatherer time. So it doesn't think that you might starve. It thinks that you will starve at some point. So it takes your excess energy and stores it into fat pockets and then tells you, now go eat, because you have nothing to run on. I've used most of it as fat, or whatever I had to use, I've used that for energy.
And it stores the carbs.
And it stores the carbs as fats for the day when you don't have food, and then it can use that.
Right.
So it constantly spikes your sugar levels. So every 4 hours, you're going to feel hungry. And it's just a cyclical process. But if you resist it for maybe an hour, you're going to not feel hungry the next hour.
Really?
You're going to feel hungry again after 4 hours of that.
Is that right?
Yes, try it.
Holy shit.
It's that window where your body, and it's hard because your body is like saying, eat now. I need it. We need this right now. Go eat. But if you resist it, then it's going to be like, okay, fine. He's not doing that. I'm going to go do something else. So you're not hungry anymore.
And that's what happened to me last night.
Yeah.
Because like, there's no grosser feeling on earth than waking up full. There's no grosser feeling. And I guess that's what I did. Like I was just like, I'm not eating anything. That's just fucking stupid. And then I woke up in the morning, and
they're saying just eat peas and steak, no gravy. The Prime Minister's diet.
Dude, that's
wrong.
How
how you lose weight.
Yeah, that's how he did it.
Steak and peas is.
The thing is, I'm not like. Yeah, no, I do like a good steak. Like, there's that butcher down there that's really good. It's like you can get a good Wagyu sirloin for like $15. It's fucking good. I should probably just do that. But like what do you? So, are you gonna try to do the like just fuck off carbs?
I've tried to do it, dude. I'm unsuccessful.
So it's just too hard.
It's hard. Like the other thing is
because did you notice? Sorry, I just while it's on my mind. Do you notice that when you eat like chicken and veggies, right, and a salad, it's so yum, but you get addicted to the feeling of going, oh yeah, oh god, I'm full, and you don't get that from that. You're just kind of like, I feel nourished, and you're like, I'm still kind of hungry. It's not healthy. It's not healthy, but like
your body also like gets used to it. It is actually seeking those carbs. I remember this is years ago, when I had successfully got my body to stop craving carbs so much. I remember I was in the city. And
what's the Atkins diet? Anyway, go on.
I was in the city, and I had been like eating healthy for like months at this point, and I really needed to pee. And so I was at town hall, and I ended up going to KFC to pee, not to eat.
Shit.
And I go inside. Usually, when I go into KFC and the smell, I'm like, oh, fuck, I need some.
Yeah.
When my body was off of that stuff for so long, I was repulsed, and I wanted to puke. It happens.
Holy shit.
Someone told me this. I think Jordan told me this. He told me 10 days.
Yeah.
That's what it takes to break the habit.
10 days.
If you can not have carbs for 10 days, the 11th day is going to be so easy.
That's amazing.
Because your body now isn't craving it.
And that's it. So 10 days.
10 days.
Maybe I should just try it. It's fucking hard.
It's not easy.
It's
think
hard.
I don't try that shit?
Yeah.
It's
well,
easy.
you did try it. And how long did you do it for?
Well, I did it for months when I got onto it. Once you're on it, and once you've sort of passed that 10-day, and then 20-day, and then a month, it just gets progressively easier. To the point where, like, then even if you eat something nasty, you don't feel good. You feel bad.
You can't drink beer.
Well, yeah, beer too.
You have to cut beer.
Yes, because that's basically carbohydrates.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Because, like, I don't mind a little snifter. I mean, I did do a shoey last week.
I think the way you can sort of circumvent it, if you want to have alcohol.
Bodies. Skinny
yeah,
bitches.
just like shots of pure spirit.
I love skinny bitches.
Which is also not good for you, but the quantity of it is so little.
But also there's no... Vodka's made from potatoes. I know that's starch.
It's mostly made from wheat, but...
Oh, so it is carbs then?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, vodka is carbs.
Every booze is carbs. You either make... But the difference between beer and vodka is that you would have way more beer than you would have vodka unless you're an alcoholic.
That's true. I am.
So if you, let's say, each bottle of beer is equivalent to one shot of vodka.
Yeah. No.
I'm just saying, let's say it is, then just imagine the quantities, the reduction of carbs that you're having.
I'm going to try the 10-day thing. It's going to be fucked. Like, what did I have? Like, today I had a fucking... See, it's easy for me to say it now. I'm like, I can do it because today I had a fucking, like, sandwich, pork, like, breakfast sandwich with a fucking coffee. Like, it's with barbecue sauce and a fucking hash brown. But, like, it would be, like, life-changing just to...
It would be.
And I do, like I said, I do love... I know you said meat. I think meat has its place, but, like, morally you can have your objections, obviously. But, like, I do love vegetarian food. I love it. Like, a lot of the time I prefer it. The problem is still the carbs. So, like,
Dude, I think at least for me, the problem isn't even carbs. The problem is addiction to carbs.
Same.
It's like
it's just
food addicts.
Yeah, I am. I'm bad.
I am particularly.
I ate a giant pack of
addict.
chips before we fucking started. A whole pack of chips.
This afternoon, every morning, I wake up.
What is your
wanting?
Let's compare diets,
dude. Okay, here's the thing. Every morning these days, I wake up saying, I'm gonna like not eat filth today.
Filth.
Every morning, and I go on. Some days are better, but by like 3 or 4, I will have a super starchy lunch.
Same.
Like rice with some leftover curry or something that's in the fridge.
It's not particularly unhealthy, but it is.
For me, it is.
Yeah. Well, for me, it is. For everyone, it is.
For some, it's not. Some people that eat in like super moderation, it's fine.
Carbs are cheap, though. That's the problem.
Carbs are cheap, and carbs are so fucking good because they're just complex sugars, which our mind is trained to want because it's the easiest thing for it to like save, store as fat, and even use as energy.
Exactly. And sorry, go on though, yeah.
So like I would eat that, and then at dinner I would eat a massive meal, which is not good. So today I forced myself to eat. So today is a good day. I woke up, said I'm not going to eat filth. And for lunch, I had a 3-egg omelet and 1 piece of bread. Ideally, I wanted to just eat a 3-egg omelet and no bread at all. But I had 1 piece of bread. But this is still a good thing.
It's fine.
If you do this every day, and I haven't had anything else for dinner.
Yeah, well, I just woke up, didn't eat anything all day as I usually do, and then I just fucking ate this fucked meal.
Ali, would you have eaten heaps of rice with your diet as a kid? Yes, I would have.
Yeah, but we ate bread. I ate a lot of bread.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have just rice. I would also have bread. More bread than I would eat rice.
I always think a simple way around it, because I hate diets and fads. I hate all that shit. I think a simple way around it is being like, I'm going to eat a Mediterranean diet, Greek food, basically, and just not have bread. And I should probably just start doing that. I don't know. It's not that difficult. Like, I like salad. I like all food. Like, I literally like everything. Like, but it's just sometimes it's like a culture change where you need to get to a point where you can be crazy like Jordan, where you're just eating unseasoned lettuce out of a bag like a rabbit, like a psycho. I don't want to do that. But, it's just a matter of, even a Lebanese food and probably Turkish food and that kind of thing. It's like, and Greek and Italian to a degree, maybe not so much Italian, but like that kind of food where you can just avoid the carbs, a lot of like lemon, yogurt, meat, lettuce, that kind of shit. I think that's probably the best thing to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Bread is.
I think it's. I don't think it has anything to do with like the. Some food cuisines are healthier than others. Like apparently, I've read this.
Mediterranean diet.
The reason why the Mongols were able to beat the shit out of everyone, including the Chinese, which were there first, was because their diet was non-carb based.
Yeah.
In fact, they used to view people that eat carbs like rice or grains as poor people.
Well, it's kind of true.
and it had several advantages. Not like all of the weight that the Chinese armies would carry on donkeys or whatever for grain, the Mongol army didn't have to carry that because they weren't having any of that. They were riding on their horses, and when the horse gets too weak, they would eat that horse. So very little luggage.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happens to your body if you're in ketosis and running off fats? What happens? Do you like, there's no crash, but because I would have thought that, like, I'll even, like, you know, if I'm getting sushi, I'll get brown rice because I know it's like low GI and it's like a slower release.
Yeah.
Happy to do it. It tastes great. Like, I'm not a fussy eater, but like, what actually happens if you just survive off chicken and lettuce or whatever the fuck, you know?
Well, that's the ketosis bit. That's where, like, your body starts producing ketosis.
How do you feel? I don't understand why that makes you feel better.
Again, like, look, I am I'm not an expert on this, but apparently when your body is running on fats as opposed to sugars, or when your body is creating sugars from fats, it creates, as a byproduct, it creates some chemical, which is, I think, ketones, which is also used for your thinking abilities or something. So just as a byproduct of eliminating carbs, your mind just gets sharper. But I don't know. Someone can, like, sort of tell us exactly.
Yeah, tell us. There's got to be some...
Meat-based only tend to lead to more competitive behaviors from little I know.
Right.
Well, I don't know if that's true, man. I don't know. I don't buy this thing of, like, if you eat meat, you're more violent.
They didn't say violent.
No, they didn't say made by, but they're
competitive.
Saying competitive.
I wouldn't say violent. That's different to violent.
What is competitive? It's
competitive is you have probably more energy and more clarity, like you said. Okay. That's what competitive is. But, like, I definitely I need to change because, like, it's like, for me, it's like I hate eat where I'm like, I'm gonna just go eat some pizza, and it's like, nah.
It's about willpower, bro.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard.
Jordan has his own fucking eating disorder because he's on the other spectrum.
He has he goes two sides. He goes really, 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 really good or really, really, really bad. Yeah. He can't have a middle ground.
Yeah. Which is a problem in its own. I remember when I was assuming that he was, like, eating really healthy because he was just eating spinach, a bag of spinach a day, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess this is cool. Until, like, his girlfriend told me, no, he hasn't eating. You can see his ribs. He's got an eating disorder. He needs to eat. And I was like, oh shit, bro, maybe not.
Well, that's obviously way too intense. Like, you need, you know, iron and minerals and...
No, he used to genuinely believe this. I didn't buy it then. I would just agree to it because I was trying to be non-confrontationist. But he would say that one piece of lettuce has the same amount of energy as, like, a steak dinner.
What, like iceberg lettuce?
With, like,
just water.
With mashed potatoes, with, like...
That's bullshit.
And big piece. And I was like, Jordan...
That's insane.
Yes, that is true. He's like... Have one capsicum. They have the same amount of energy as, like, hot chips. And I was like, I don't know if that's true, bro.
It's just not true.
I feel like you have to have a lot more capsicum to match
and
that.
I love vegetables, but a lot of it is water and vitamins, which you piss out. Like, you have to eat a lot of it.
You have to eat a lot.
Yeah, and it is obviously good for you. I'm not saying... I think quality is important too. There's a difference between a minute steak and some fucking grass-raised whatever, like, good cut. But... you know, I think I've eaten enough chips in my life.
Everyone has.
I don't even like them
anymore. They're so fucking good, bro.
I know, but, like, even I'm just like, enough.
Sick of it.
Enough, you know, like...
But it is that straight up that it's like smoking. It's an addiction. Like, you give it up for 10 days and you're going to not want to do it.
I think I should just... Simplest way for me is to be like, I am a Mediterranean person. I'm going to have a Mediterranean diet and just eat, like, fish and chicken and stuff and just try to get used to not having that feeling of being like, oh, yes, oh, it's so fully, oh, yeah. Because it's like a drug and it's like, I don't know, man. My dad's pretty inspiring. He doesn't, well, Dad doesn't eat meat anymore. He's a vegetarian, but... He does eat potatoes and stuff, but Actually, it'd be quite interesting to see if my dad's actually healthy, his diet, because he doesn't eat meat.
But he is really into exercise. Actually, someone just said, it's not about what you eat, it's about how much you exercise.
Yes, that's true as well.
But I don't think that's true, though. It's true in the sense that someone that exercises, apparently it's like 70-30. 70% is your diet and 30% is your exercise. Now, if you are, let's say your diet is really good and you don't exercise at all, you would still lose weight or stay in your optimal weight if you were eating well. Now, if you were eating like a crazy person and you were also exercising, you could still be gaining weight.
Yeah.
So
then body types gets into it as well.
I think like exercise is really good because if you're doing both, then you're at optimal. Because you'll drop weight like crazy if you're overweight, or but if you're not caring about your diet, I think that's worse. Diet is more important than exercise.
I mean, if you're trying to bulk up and literally start being a weightlifter, then you can kind of eat whatever the fuck you want. But that's extreme.
But not even whatever the fuck you want. I remember it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt or Hugh Jackman. One of them was talking about how when they had to bulk up, you couldn't eat like chocolate sundaes to do it. You needed protein.
Right.
So they would eat like a ridiculous amount of chicken breast. Like they'd eat like freaking 7 chickens a day.
Jesus.
To the point where I think either it was Hugh Jackman or Joseph Gordon, I can't remember. They said that it was every time I would eat boiled chicken,
you're just like, blah.
I would want to puke. So what I did was I would blend it in a blender and I would drink it.
Oh my God.
So even if you want to bulk up and if you want to get those muscles, you can't just have like fucking McFlurries and cheeseburgers.
I think like, I'm telling you, the Mediterranean diet for me, I think that's it. I don't know what even that means, but like, I don't know what that means. Greek food, I guess. I mean, there is a place down the road from me called, what's that fucking, I don't know, some Turkish town, Istanbul or some shit. I can't remember what the hell it's called, the place. But no. What's the town in Egypt? Cairo. It's called Cairo. It's Egyptian food.
Oh, and Newtown? That place is fucking sick, bro.
Really
Cairo
good.
takeaway?
Yeah, really good. But here's the thing. You can get their little like pita pocket thing for $14. And it's great. But it's still surrounded in bread. But it is like that thin-ass bread.
Or you could get their like the
plate.
The mixed kebab plate or something.
Yeah, like the plate.
Still has some bread, but it's so good.
Yeah, and it's like, this is another question I have. Everyone says it's cheaper to cook at home, and it's like every time I cook at home, I end up spending a lot, and then I make it in bulk, and then by day 3, I'm over it anyway, so I don't need it.
Yeah, I think this idea
is it a fallacy?
It's not. First of all, food prices have gone up. And restaurants are really using economies of scale where they're producing a lot to make. Like, you go to like some Newtown Thai restaurant and they would have a red curry chicken and rice deal for $10.
That's what it should be.
You can't beat that shit at home.
Can't beat that at home. Yeah, you can't beat $10.
The only way you can beat $10 at home is if you were cooking filth.
Yeah.
You bought a big pack of rice and you
cheap thighs. Well, that's
cheap
not filth.
thighs and
oh no, yeah, it is filth.
If you wanted to get like a good healthy diet, which includes fruits and vegetables and good vegetables and eggs that weren't tightly caged.
I don't buy like caged eggs.
I think it would be either the same or more expensive, particularly in the last 6 months because of ScoMo, dude. The prices of food have... Because I buy food, like home food.
Yeah, and I do too,
I buy like groceries all the time, so I can see how it's expensive.
Does your family eat well?
Better than me. So I've got one brother who is kind of like you, except that he follows through with all of the shit. So he'll eat, but he knows exactly how much to eat, and he exercises.
Right.
And he plays sports. So he's like super, super fit. Because he just has that, he's much better than me at like having that realization and discipline.
Yeah, I'm not good.
And he also has this innate need to eat healthy. Like,
right.
If he's not eating healthy, he freaks out, which I wish I was like. So he's good. Then my little brother, he just has like a metabolism.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's like a
like
rake.
A rock
he's a
star.
rake. Yeah.
He'll eat filth and he'll eat so much of it, but because he's young and His metabolism is just amazing. He has barely any fat on his body. And my parents, look, we don't eat fast food kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not like we're eating Macca's, which there are a lot of Australian families that I've seen that would eat like KFC takeout every night.
Yeah,
so
it's not good.
That's not our family. We would cook food, but we are also a foodie family. So when we do cook food, we eat a lot of that food.
Yeah, that's the same with mine. But like generally, what's good about my family is that they're good cooks, but there's also like, it is Mediterranean. There'll be like, there's a lot of sauerkraut, you know, probiotics, like eggplant. Like there'll be meat, but it's like good quality. It's just like what is considered like, you know, some person might look at it and be like, oh, you know, it's a little carby and it's a little that. But, you know, it's generally good. I think a lot of it for me is laziness. Like I'm just like, oh, I don't want to fucking, every time I have to think of it, I'm like, I don't know it's like another job, you know? But I think I'm going to set myself a challenge of like doing it for 10 days and I'll probably be the grumpiest beep on Twitch, but fuck it. Sorry, screw it. Like, it's just like, I don't like feeling sluggish and like, you know, look, when I get hungry, I'm just like, like it's not how it's supposed to be. It's like, you know, I wasn't even like that when I was younger. I wouldn't even.
When I used to do it, the mornings were much better. You know how like when you wake up and you're like, oh, I want to take a snooze. I'll wake up in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I was completely off of carbs, I wouldn't want to do that. When my eyes would open, I would just get up and go into the shower.
Yeah.
It has incredible benefits, but dude, it's just fucking addiction, food addiction.
It is. It's dangerous, man. And like, there's some really naughty food that's good, like Korean fried chicken and stuff. You know, it's like, Jesus, you can't say no. I think you shouldn't. I think it's all about like, my housemates are really good. They make themselves these like chickpea and lentil things that they just cook in a slow cooker and they eat it all week. And I'm just like, I kind of just want to be like, make it for me, you know. But they're quite onto it. I don't know what the like last night. I didn't even eat it, but I was like, I'm just gonna have a bag of lettuce and a tin of tuna. Put that in the lettuce or the salad, and it's like tuna salad.
Dude, I never liked those canned tunas because I feel like they're
bad.
I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
But anyways, Marilini asked, how often do you have desserts?
So when I'm on my own, nearly never, because it's like dessert's like a fun thing that you do. Like I don't eat dinner alone and be like, ooh, I'm going to get dessert. I just don't really do that. So on my own, really never. But I do love it. If it's, I only like a few things, but then I really like it. Like, what's that stuff called? The Italian stuff?
Nutella?
No, you know, the coffee cake shit. What's it called?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, that. I like that.
My weakness isn't desserts either.
Tiramisu, yeah. Sorry.
Tiramisu, yeah. My weakness isn't dessert either. I can actually resist dessert. It's the savory stuff.
Me too. Like when I was in Perth, I bought $30 worth of beef jerky.
That's fucking ridiculous.
It's a demented human. Like, it's dog food. Like, it's not good. So I need. I don't know. I need some sort of. It's funny because I was raised on extremely healthy food. I've sort of just succumbed to being a little bit lazy about it. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's the carb addiction. I think I just have an addiction to carbs, and it's really bad. I just need to start like. I think I'm just going to be grumpy Gus for like 2 weeks.
I envy those people. You know those people that have like everything in order. They wake up and they're like, okay, time to go for a run. And like, it's just.
It's amazing.
How?
To me, I know. Bro? It makes me.
I wish I was that guy.
Same.
And then they come back and it's like, all right, so what's on my schedule for today?
I know.
And you're like, oh shit, you've made a schedule.
I know. It's like a superhero. There are superheroes out there. They're just.
I want to be that person so badly.
I know. I think drinking is a bad one too. I think beer. It's hard when you're on tour because it's just like free beer. But like, I need to sort of cut the beer.
Or get on the bees.
No, I got to get off the beers. And you're saying vodka's bad too now.
Well, dude, alcohol is just bad.
I know.
But I'm talking strictly in terms of weight loss, that if you are trying to lose weight and you still want to have booze, you'd rather have shots of vodka
Yeah.
than have like beers.
Or vodka lime sodas.
Yeah, as long as the lime sodas didn't have sugar.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, then that's fine too.
Um,
Should we? Okay, dude. Okay, I've got a question. You know, like I was watching.
Some freak makes his own beef jerky. I quite often chuck beef strips in the oven on low and make my own. That's not how you make beef jerky, dude. You need a dehydrator. That's not.
It's doing the same thing. If it's in the oven, it's slowly dehydrating it.
Really?
It won't be as good as like a properly dehydrated one.
Okay.
But it'll do the trick.
Look, I'm not going to be buying your stuff anytime soon, but.
All right, can you tell me if the internet is going crazy over Albo's son?
I don't know.
They're saying he's the most eligible bachelor in Australia right now.
Well, he's
Now-
he's definitely one of the palest.
He isn't a bad looking boy, but that haircut. What the fuck is that? That belongs in the 1930s.
I also don't think he's a particularly good-looking boy. I think they're just so hot over a Labor government that they're just.
Dude, this isn't even pedestrian. This is news.com, Murdoch Media. Internet goes wild over Anthony Albanese's son. What is up with this fetishization of like leaders' kids? Same thing happened with Donald Trump's kid.
Yeah, it's weird.
Where like these old 40-year-old women would be sitting there on podcasts and saying, "Oh my God, I could do so many things to this child."
Hey, what do you think of this? Someone said Rome's longest, greatest conquest, destroying us all with carbs. I mean, the wheat the revolution of like what wheat did allow us to be able to build empires and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like that also makes me tired in the morning.
Yeah, but like, okay.
They didn't want eating pizza.
First of all, they were having carbs because that was the only way they could actually have
like,
surplus wealth because they
Yeah.
could keep all of their energy stored.
Yeah.
But at the same time, their lifestyles they were nothing like us.
Weren't
They
sedentary.
would work hard.
Yeah, exactly.
They would
It's a different context.
The problem is we're still doing that sort of shit with excess food where like the idea that you can just go into a fridge and open it and eat anything you want at any time is so mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling.
To the particularly the ancient person that the comparison is just not good. Like,
sorry, I'll shut up about food now. It's my own little adventure. But stop fetishizing these kids. I agree. I mean, whatever.
no, but like, is he even hot?
No.
And what does that haircut look like to you?
It looks
It's
like
a bit Adolf.
Yeah.
It's a
He's very Hitler.
He's very Hitlery. He just needs a little bit of a mustache.
I think he's a sweet kid, but like,
he's probably amazing.
relax. You know, like, I mean, you know, to be honest though, it's probably good for him because he wasn't going to be killing it without that exposure, is he?
They're saying I tap Albo. There's a lot of people that would tap the prime minister.
I like Albo a lot. You know,
The question is, would you tap Albo if he wasn't the prime minister and he was some random bloke at a pub?
not me. Well, he's
Well-
a man as well, but would you? No, I don't think so.
He's gonna grow up to look like Albo. Shit doesn't bode well. Damn right.
No, Albo's all right. I mean, it's just dumb internet talk. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's just a way of saying I like him. That's all they're saying. It's like you don't actually think he's a
Dude, I tell you one thing. The sex symbol should be Albo's missus.
She's.
I mean,
attractive.
she's the first lady in all respects, and I will tip my hat to you. But just in my own little heart, I'm going to say you are mighty hot.
She is. It's like that's a nice change, isn't it?
Yeah. And she's also a regular person. I looked
Yeah.
up. That's how much I have a thing for her now, that I Wikipedia'd her.
I've heard it from a few people too.
And I found out that she's actually a uni dropout. And she's just like, she had some job and met Albo. And
It's great.
now she's the first lady.
I love
which is
too
fine.
that someone can in this country, or probably this day and age, someone can just be like, instead of being like my beautiful wife and children, someone can be like my girlfriend here and I are really happy. Like it's cool. It's like he's a normal guy, you know. Like
What do you think about this? There's a lot of people, and I don't know how many of you would agree with this. There's a lot of people that don't like. So if someone becomes like a head of state and their partner if they got married to them when they were kids and they had nothing to do with being the prime minister or they weren't successful, they would respect their wife a lot more, as opposed to if they ended up with them while they were already big shots. There's like a little gold digger aspect to it that comes in.
You can't generalize.
No, you can't, but you know that people have that opinion of.
Yeah, but no one marries someone after they're like president or prime minister. That doesn't happen. They always have partners beforehand. I reckon never. But like, that never happens.
Not that. Look, I love Albo's missus. Trust me, I'd want her to be there for eternity. But she started dating Albo when he was the leader of the opposition.
Well, when you put it that way, maybe it helped him a little bit. But
no, it definitely did.
But that's fine.
That's fine.
Like, what's wrong with that? It's like people naturally. I mean, anyone that sort of like denies that men and women aren't attracted to success and power are lying.
I disagree. Women are, men aren't. Men get intimidated by women's success.
Yeah.
If there was a female prime minister, the only
you might be right,
that would be secure enough to be with a female prime minister is someone that wasn't a loser in their normal day-to-day life.
Maybe it is more of a female thing, but again, like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's like human nature.
Yeah, it's basically like it's that whole that biological tendency to look for stability.
Yeah,
because you're planning on having kids. I mean, subconsciously, so you're like, I want someone that's stable.
And it's so naive and not even naive, just stupid to be like, there's kind of, that thing of like, just denying any level of like reality or biology where it's kind of just like, I like this person because I think that they're good. And I don't look at them in the face. I don't care what they look like or what job they do. It's like, what are you talking about? Like,
you don't buy those women that have their profile on like Tinders and like Hinge that says I'm sapiosexual.
I've never heard that before.
You haven't heard that?
What does that mean? Does that mean you've read Sapiens once or something?
Kind of. Actually, that's funny. Sapiosexual means that you're attracted to intelligence exclusively.
I think that's a thing, but I think exclusively is a stretch.
But it's also like every human being. No one is not attracted to smart people.
This is not some like magical thing. I think it's been like established that everyone has pretty set of standards, and they can fluctuate and everything totally. But attraction it's simple. It's not. You can't just be like, I think they're intelligent. Like, there's also things like, do they have some dominance? Maybe like I think I don't know. I think that I would be surprised if someone would be attracted to someone that is a complete kind of what's the term? Kind of someone that's like not aggressive, but someone that's not even has no conviction. Do you know what I'm saying? Like no sort of
drive.
Not drive.
Ambition?
The ability to be aggressive if need be. Sometimes that comes
like
as
a pushover, a non-pushover.
Yeah, like sometimes I think that it's like a partner there has to be an ability to stand up for yourself and get angry, essentially, and have the ability to be like, no, because all that means is it means you have a set of morals that they have crossed over. If you don't get angry about anything, you don't have any morality because it's like everything's fine.
Well, you're saying so you need to have some kind of moral boundaries to be attractive, to be perceived as being attractive?
I think so.
Maybe. I don't know. That's probably a question that chicks would answer better.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who knows?
Have you seen Bill Maher's new thing where he's always like, boomers the amount of boomers that were gay was 1 to 2%, and that increased with Gen X
I did see this
to 5%.
Yeah, and then he was like, by 2034, 95% of people will be gay.
Real gay, and that's when he paid out sapiosexual. So he was like, "That's not a thing. We're all attracted to intelligent people."
Yeah. Of course. Like, he's saying that like that's. Everyone is attracted to someone's intelligence to a certain extent.
No, but do you agree with him that like we're inflating these figures, or do you think it's just that now
Oh, I
the
think
fluidity of sexuality. Because
Yeah,
you meet
it's
so many women that would say, "Yeah, we normally go for guys, but we somehow are attracted to some women too."
I think women might be more fluid in that sense. I actually think that they actually, it's probably more common for them to be more fluid, but I think men less.
But it's getting more, which is why it's making me think that maybe it's not that women are more fluid. It's just that
The culture.
men are too scared to be perceived as, gay.
Maybe. I think it's probably a lot of things. It's probably like there is more people comfortable with it being themselves, but then there's also the culture of like, I mean, come on, like if you look at social media for a second, it's quite obvious to see that it's like there's a proportion of people, men or women, that are kind of like have not really particularly interesting. I'm not particularly successful either. So I'm going to make my thing being this like sexual proclivity. That's my character now. And it's like, it's encouraged and, it's like, you don't have to write a great album. You can just be different.
They're longing.
I mean, I'm not saying, look at social media, Yeah.
Well, speaking of social media, did you know Jordan Peterson left Twitter to boycott? Because he was saying that he's getting too much hate on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
He's given up social media because there was some U.S. Weekly plus size model that was that was kind of fat, and everyone was like, "She's beautiful," and Jordan Peterson went on Twitter and said, "She is not beautiful."
Did he?
Said, yeah.
Oh my god!
But you know what?
He said he's not.
You gotta check her out because
I think I've seen her.
She is hot. So I think Jordan Peterson was kind of wrong about this. Tell me if she is not hot.
So what was he saying?
He was just saying that she's not beautiful. She's overweight, and that got him into trouble. And
I mean, I saw like I don't know.
Sports Illustrated. Okay, check this out.
Yeah, I saw it.
She's hot.
Yeah, look, she's definitely not like, I wouldn't even say she's overweight. She's just kind of curvy, right?
Yeah, she's curvy.
Yeah, so like, he's like, am I super attracted to her? Not necessarily, but like, I think that he's probably wrong.
Yeah, I think
he's probably wrong. It's like, it's kind of mean to be like, she's not beautiful. It's like, she can't change her like hip size, dude. Like, I don't think she's unattractive.
She can. She is slightly overweight, but I still think she's hot.
What did he say?
Literally that she's not beautiful.
All right. But beauty is subjective.
Beauty is subjective.
Like completely subjective. Like obviously it's, if there was someone that was like, this idea of someone that's like grotesquely overweight and someone's like, they're beautiful. It's like, there is a line here. It's like, I think objectively some people are not. But like, she's attractive. Like that's a bit of a stretch to be like, she's not beautiful. It's like,
I think from his point of view, I think we're glamorizing unhealthiness.
Yeah, but I mean, she's not that fucking. She's not like there was some like, I think there was some like Cosmo model that was just like hugely overweight and they're like beautiful and it's like she's dying, she's unhealthy, but that she's obviously not at that level. Like, and she is attractive. If I saw her, I'd be like, she's attractive. She's got,
yeah, she's my type, bro.
There you go. He's probably just getting older and like doubling. Like he's just getting. It was not the right example because it's not really the right call in that context. Maybe he just had
he also has like serious issues now. Jordan Peterson is kind of
he's getting a bit cognitively.
He's like losing declined. It a little bit, bro.
I don't think he's even.
First of all, he's crying in every interview.
Yeah, I think that he's overworked, dude.
I think
that's something people don't take into account. It's like if you're doing this every day, imagine every day of your life, someone's just hitting you with these existential, the biggest questions on earth every day. Like, what's the meaning of life? What's the purpose of humanity? What, like, man, I couldn't do that. Like, I walked into the office today and Jordan and his head were rambling on about politics. And I was just like, shut up. So boring. So, like...
But I think he's also a recovering addict.
Well, that's a fact, right?
That kind of would...
He is crying a lot.
Fuck your mental health.
Yeah, he is crying a lot. Like, it's like
he was on his podcast and someone asked him, how are you doing? And he, like, just cried. He was crying. For, like, a long time.
Yeah, look... I mean, I can kind of relate to that because I can cry over a doorknob, you know? Like, it's not much to me for someone to be like... I'm like a moody little bish that can cry. Can cry at the drop of a hat. So, like, I can relate. But it's obviously... He's probably not in a good... You know... I just think it's not a healthy job to be either a provocateur. Jordan can do it because he's just nuts. But, like, to be a provocateur or someone that has to constantly debate people, like, every day and have your facts back, like, it's, like, 100% down the line straight every day. It's just not the normal mode of it, what a person kind of should be doing. There should be more... There should be, like, silly, fun time, which is kind of like what I want my whole life to be. You know, if it were up to me, I like facts and digging into existential ideas, but a lot of the time I like just going like poop and just saying that a lot and being like poopty whoop, poopty scoopty whoop, and then someone being like poop, poopty scoop, poopty scoop. So like he's probably
Maybe you should counsel Jordan Peterson. Can you imagine that?
I mean, he's a very, very intelligent guy.
I'll clean up my room, but now you have to learn something from me.
Yeah.
Having your room kind of dirty sometimes is all right, my friend.
Yeah. Mess up your room you need both.
Right. You need to calm down.
But you know, yeah, that was probably that call. His sentiment would have been accurate if it was in regards to that model that was like.
I know which one, the ginger one.
I can't remember, but it was just like, dude, that's your life is gonna be considerably shorter because of your weight.
Isaac Butterfield made a lot of fun of.
Probably, I can't remember, but
you know that's most of Isaac. I love Isaac, but that's his like thing.
Is it? I don't really watch
Fat
him.
chicks suck. Now repeat after me. Fat chicks suck.
We're allowed to say it, but that was a weird.
But dude, I think it had a good result. He needs to be off of social media for a bit.
Didn't Twitter just get bought by Elon? Why would he leave now?
Well, I think he left because people were just saying like they were criticizing him for like calling that woman beautiful or whatever, or not calling her beautiful. But
I mean that was a bad example because, like you said, you find her attractive.
Yeah, so I find it really hot.
So that's kind of end of the story. If someone genuinely, obviously people do things of motives. You know, if someone was saying it to be like woke and virtue signaling, it's not a great example, but you're not doing that. That's not your intent. So it's like, you know, that's kind of...
No, but I think like what Jordan Peterson needs to be doing is actually staying off of social media and reading comments, and he should just do like those videos that someone in his team puts up for him on YouTube, and he just doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I think he should do less. Now he's like, I think he's realized that he can just do interviews over Skype, Zoom, or whatever. But it's still a lot of work, and it's still an emotional toll. You know, he's been through a lot of shit. Like, and fame can have strange effects on you. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Because he was in his middle ages when he got fucking famous overnight.
Yeah,
like it was his rise was insane. He went from being like a no one knows university professor to like one of the most famous people on earth, where he was selling out freaking Alphonse Arena.
I think
for a talk. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
he's not Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I think too. There's a lot of what's the word? Sort of like comfortability. That's not a word, but there's a lot of comfort and like I guess righteousness in dogma, and he's not like that. So like if someone's just like, this is what I believe, fuck you, then you're quite like safe in your sort of mental narrative. Whereas he's constantly like, I don't know. Well, I'll have to think about that. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. And it's like you can't really have values unless you're dogmatic to a degree. You have to say, I believe in this, and like I don't want my mind changed. And like he's constantly, as an intelligent, open-minded person, should be changing his mind and being fluid with ideas. And like I think that can be really exhausting. You know, even like sometimes after our pods, I'll just go home and be like, it's like draining because you're like, fuck, this idea in my head has completely changed. and it's like tiring. So to be like that constantly, I think it's healthy to be like that, but to be like that constantly would be exhausting because it's like, well, I don't really. There has to be some finite. There has to be some right and wrong or yes or no things in your life. Otherwise, you're kind of just like, there's what is real.
Work-life balance.
Yeah, like philosophy a lot of philosophers go insane.
Yeah.
And he's a philosopher, basically.
Basically.
So, like, that's a road to insanity. You know? There's a reason why, like, Christians from Ohio are the happiest on earth. And, like, Buddhists and religious people, really. There's some stability there and there's some, like, concrete thoughts. Yeah. And to be constantly fucking battling shit.
Do you know there was this one Greek philosopher whose name I forget who thought that the greatest human is one that basically is a dog. He was super minimalist. Like he used to walk around naked. He used to shit.
Yeah. The guy who used to be he used to live like a dog.
He saw a dog.
Yeah, that's right.
He was basically at this point he was in rags and he would live in caves.
Yeah.
And he had a bowl that he would use to like fill it up from the river and have water from it. And then one time he saw a dog come in.
And he said, I don't need that.
He's like, what have I been doing? I've wasted the last 10 years by using this wooden bowl. And he chucked it out and started licking the river just like the dog was.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like pretty extreme.
But philosophers can be like that.
They can be like that because he's got a point, you know? I mean...
Well, this point is kind of dumb, though. Yeah. Being minimalist is not necessarily a righteous way to live.
It's not necessarily a righteous way to live, but, you know, is he happier than some CEO? Probably.
Probably, but I suppose you could say that excess is bad, but the most purest form isn't to just be naked and shitting anywhere you want.
I don't think so either. I think that's kind of like anarchy and insane. I think that I really think that Eastern philosophies get a lot of that right. A lot of the Buddhist and Stoicism, that's not East, that's Roman, but like the Stoics and Buddhists and a lot of the Chinese philosophy, Taoism, a lot of that stuff, it's just about a balance. It's not this extremity. It's just kind of like try to bring a bit of peace to your mind and... Life is a balance. I mean, our bodies are a balance of chemicals. That's all it is. It's just a balance.
Would you want to be a Buddhist monk?
Kind of, yeah.
Do you know the ones that are just sitting cross-legged and meditating while there's like tanks in their background and there's massive fighting and they don't care?
Dude, I can't cut out pizza. I don't think I can be a Buddhist monk.
No, but you've got to go to one of those like excursions.
I would love that. Love that.
Go to like Tibet.
Yeah. I feel the most peace when I'm like... honestly, like if I was just traveling, when I'm just traveling, I'm the most peace. Transient, and because you're not really tied down and you've kind of got, like responsibilities stress me out. So like, yeah, I would like that. I would love that actually. And just, yeah, I would. Would you?
Are you saying that you want to be a monk because you don't want to care about paying rent?
It's not just rent. It's like, just, you know, a calendar and then like I got to do this day, this day, this day, this day. Like it's kind of lame.
Dude, you got to be a rock star. Like that.
And,
that is your destiny. Anything other than that is not going to make you happy.
It's strange. Like, yeah, I think that there is something though. I think it is true that like the little things in life and a bit of peace in mind is what makes you happy. Like sitting in a park makes, you know, that's a big part of being happy. Just sitting in a park and enjoying your surroundings and kind of that kind of thing. Obviously, like again, it's a balance. Like social, you need social life and this and that. But
do you feed off other people's energy? Like, do you need a certain amount of social interaction?
Yeah.
Or because there's some people that don't like the idea of being in a park. They were like, well, are my friends with me?
No. I can happily sit in a park on my own. But I need social interaction as well, but then not too much. The older I get, the more I like 1 to 2 people instead of like 7 or 10. But
there's also, I think part of that is that when you're younger,
expectations.
There's this like need to be super social and get validation. As you get older, you just stop giving a shit. Like there's a point when you meet someone new with your friends when you're in your 20s and you go like, oh, this guy's cool.
Yeah.
Let's try to be friends with him. I hope he likes me.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get into your 30s, you're like, I don't give a fuck what this guy thinks about me.
I'm a little bit like that, but I like that. I care less what they think, but I'm not less interested in them. I'm just less what they think of me.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
that is true.
But do you think you could, like, surely expectation is exhausting in your life?
I'm okay
thing,
with
the
it.
WOG thing, not the WOG thing, the immigrant thing. Like, I have definitely, my parents are super supportive and like, no, they seem chill, but like, there is this thing of like expectation of kind of to prove that you are successful. It's like it holds a lot of weight and it's like kind of tiring.
It is, and that is definitely. But I think you need to like the ideal way to deal with that is somehow get over that. Like just abandon that expectation.
Yeah, easier said than done.
It's easier said than done, and I think you really need a good partner.
Yeah.
That
you do.
also understands that, because if
Yeah.
you're with someone that constantly loads expectations on you,
Yeah.
then it would be much worse, as opposed to someone that is happy with a non-materialistic life and also isn't like too obsessed by status.
You know when I'm happiest? When I'm like living in New York or something, a new city where everything is different, everyone is different to you, and because there's endless novelty, and that's superficial, I know, but that sort of, there's something about that I need. Like doing the same thing all the time drains me a lot, and then but then I get guilty because I'm like, you spoiled little shit. It's this vicious cycle. It's so weird. It's strange. Like, I probably just need to just piss off to Croatia for a bit or something like that. I don't know. I really don't know. It's strange. It's probably
Well, even that like is not sustainable. Like
No,
you don't
it's
want to
not.
live for your next holiday. You need to somehow make your life into a holiday
yeah, exactly.
where you get those same sort of experiences.
I think I'm trying to. A thing that pisses me off a lot in my life is like roadblocks where I want to do something. It frustrates me sometimes because Jordan's able to be like, I'm doing this thing and now I've done it. And me, it's like, I'm doing this thing. It's been 2 years. It's still not done. So I think I need to hone my ability to have to achieve the things I want to achieve more. You know what I mean?
Or there's an easy way out.
Mm.
Start popping Ritties.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind smashing some Dexies, actually. I've never tried them before.
I've had Ritalin.
It helps. Do you think I have ADHD? Because apparently everyone has it. Because Jordan's like, you don't have it.
People
I'm
were
like,
saying that in the comments. That's called ADHD.
yeah, but everyone has ADHD.
But that's the thing.
What is ADHD? Sitting in an office is not normal.
You have ADHD. That's what Zarkon Pace God.
Yeah,
is
so
saying.
can you send me an ADHD pill, Zari?
But dude, like,
Does that be
here's the
okay?
thing. I don't think it's like you can't just name every problem of yours and think
ADHD.
that it's done. ADHD is. I'm sure that there's a lot of people that do have ADHD.
Yeah.
But not everyone that has similar symptoms also has ADHD.
Yeah.
So I don't. Maybe you have ADHD.
But what does that mean? If they say, like, you have it, what the fuck? What are they going to say? Like,
Well, you can't focus on something for too long. That's a symptom of ADHD.
Yes, that is
But
me.
it's also true for most people
Yeah.
who don't want to do.
But there's
who
no
wants to work.
No, but there's no cure for ADHD.
No, there's management of
Like
ADHD.
what?
Like Ritalin. That's like a med. Like that's meant for ADHD.
Well, maybe I should go to a little testy westy.
You can, but at the same time, like
What do? You just go in. There's about 5 to 7 different ADHD meds, all work on different ways. So should I just go to a doctor and be like, gimme, gimme, gimme?
yeah, you apparently have to go to a psychologist that will
Aren't they
refer
expensive?
you. Yeah. That's why we needed Albo, so
know,
he can
exactly.
put money in mental health.
Well, I think I should just do that because I do find it like, dude, this is insane. Listen to this. Listen to this. How fucked is this? I find it easier to do work, like rather than doing work in silence, I find I'm more productive if while I'm working, there's someone on the phone blabbing in my ear, just going, and this other thing, and I'm just like, and then I actually get work done.
That's crazy because I hate that. I'd
See,
be like, get off
it
the
actually
phone.
helps me.
I'm trying to work. You.
Actually helps me. That's not normal. I need shit on in the background all the time.
Well, I don't know. I was watching a podcast and they were trying to explain ADHD, and they said that every human has like a torch where like they can sort of put the torch on a particular thing in their mind and focus on that one thing really well. People that have ADHD don't have a torch, they have a massive floodlight. So when you're trying to focus on something and you put a floodlight, you're constantly distracted by all the shit that's happening in the background. That's how I know I don't have ADHD, because I can focus on something.
Yeah, it's hard for me.
But when you're let's say when I tell you to like read the Twitch comments, are you constantly distracted by where the camera is?
No.
What's on the wallpaper?
No.
What am I? Because I think that's one of the things that ADHD.
No, I'm not like that. But someone did send me a test, and they're like, "How many boxes did you tick?" And mine was like, quite a lot of them. But like, I also don't want to be medded up.
Yeah, and the problem with these meds have side effects.
I don't want to be medded up.
A lot of it kills your boner. You know, most antidepressants.
Yeah.
I don't know if ADHD meds do it, but like antidepressants just kill your sex drive.
Fuck.
And I think even ADHD meds do that. You stop getting morning woods.
Maybe I should start with cutting out pizza.
I think so.
Honestly, like I don't want to be one of the, I don't want to do the American way of like, I'm going to blanket, I'm going to put Band-Aids over my bad habits. Like, how about I start with regular exercise and trying to eat a good diet? I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
Maybe the rest will fall into place.
Maybe spend $100 and do a sesh if you want to with a psychologist.
Yeah, maybe I will. Or I think there's a way to do it now. We're like, I'm depressed. And they're like, here's your 10 free sessions. Someone told me that's a thing.
Yeah, maybe. We'll take it.
But I don't know how I'll go to the doctor and just be like, look, I'm not taking the piss. Well, I am taking the piss, but can you just give me 10 free sessions of this thing?
No, just be like, I don't know if I have any issue, but these are my problems.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll give some clarity.
Because I've never been able to hold down a job. I've had 50 different jobs, and I've never enjoyed having one for a long time. Again,
that's a lot of people, bro. Particularly if you're doing unfulfilling jobs.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a bathroom cleaner. Why can't I be excited about it? Like, no one is excited about cleaning bathrooms, bro.
Totally.
So it's not just, maybe if you find a fulfilling thing, but that's also like a common thing.
It's like Dr. Phil. It is a common thing, but that's the problem. I don't like feeling like one of those little spoiled little shits that are just kind of like, I don't like outsourcing my problems, you know?
No one does.
But
well, should we call it a night?
It's a tough one. Thanks, Dr. Phil. Let me just see what people are saying. Get them and sell them, Mislav.
I don't know. A clean bathroom can be rather fulfilling.
Go to the doctor, get a mental health plan, and see a psychologist. After the sessions, they might recommend that you need to go back to a GP and get it. See, even doing all that it's like, I can't be bothered.
Dude,
that's like a 10 list thing. It's like, I'd rather not.
Someone just said, I don't know, clean bathroom is rather fulfilling.
Cleaning it isn't.
Dude, this is the one thing that I miss about Pakistan so much. Having servants that... Dude, I was so bad as a kid. I would come from school and I would take off my shirt, throw it somewhere, take my pants off, throw it somewhere else, my shoes in different locations.
That's amazing. Are you serious?
And every morning, everything will magically be clean, ironed, and set up in my...
Why did you move from a good country to a shitter country?
I don't know.
What were you
But those were the benefits. And dude, every day, sparkling clean bathroom, your bed was made.
What? Dude, you lived in a hotel?
You eat food and magically all your plates get clean and stacked up.
Dude.
There was a lot of shit bits about living in Pakistan, but that was definitely a good thing.
Dude, like... Jordan said, man, you remember Poop Steve 420? Jordan just said that.
Which Jordan?
Our Jordan.
Is he listening?
Nah. Oh, maybe. Fuck.
No, I don't remember Poop Steve 420.
I want answers. Stop making fun. Look, I'll do that. Just because I've never been to one, I should probably just do it and be like, what do you...
Oh, they're saying I'm pro-slaves. No, bro, they were paid. Like, very, very minimal.
Anyone who says anyone who says that someone's pro-slaves will be the first one to want servants. Hypocrites. They're hypocrites.
Yeah, pro-slaves, they weren't slaves. They were servants, which means that they...
Don't call them servants. Call them... what did
employees.
I just say? No, what did I just say?
Weren't.
I just said like something. I forgot what it was already.
Help.
Yeah, like...
The politically correct term for it is help.
Help. Like the PC term. Like when I went to Bali, there was people in the house and like...
Yeah, it's like a hotel.
Yeah, I gave them like good tips and shit. I mean, like you don't abuse it, but life is hard, bro. There's a lot of disadvantage in the world, but we got labor in now, so Ali won't be allowed any more help, okay?
Yeah.
Plus, Pakistan, I'm pretty sure, is a little bit of a different country than here.
It definitely is. And there's a lot of drawbacks. I'm much happier living here, but that's the one thing that I miss.
Yeah, I bet.
A clean bathroom every day.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's basically what I do for Jordan. I'm a cleaner.
And
a cook, yeah.
Why is it not fulfilling enough?
No. He's good. It's great. But like...
Ali reckons his servants were paid well, lol. You know what? I do know that they weren't paid that well, but that was the standard pay.
Yeah, like... It's so easy to get off your high horses, you know? You don't understand.
Hey, if you were born in the same exact situation as me, you would think the way I do.
How many of you people saying that give homeless people $5 on the street when you see them? Seriously.
Yeah. And I often give, not $5, but I would buy like a meal.
Exactly. Life, dude, it's a cold, dark world. Don't care, you know. It's like stitch it up and...
clean it yourself, dudes. Yes, that's what I do now.
Clean it.
I've been doing it for a fucking decade, but I'm still going to admit it was better when I didn't have to.
It is a brutal job. Yeah, and someone just said, is slavery bad? Why iPhone? You know, like on their iPhones. Like, you're a bad person.
Nikes or Yeezy, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, my Nikes. And even these Vans are probably made in China, you know, like we can all try to be better in our own way, but let's all not fucking virtue signal till the cows come home. I think there's enough of that on the internet.
All right, we've been going on for about 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Should we keep going, or you reckon
we've got to do an upload as well?
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you wanted to talk about? We've delved into my.
Let me quickly go through the.
Let's do one more segment. We've delved into my crippling psychological issues. Enough.
Morrison's tackle victim has spoken about.
Can I please read this?
Yeah, read it.
Seems like this guy knows what he's talking about. And then we'll go into it. Mislav, is someone diagnosed with ADHD? If you're a chronic weed smoker, I'm not, then you've definitely got it. I don't know. Seriously though, if you have an education history littered with would be an amazing student if they applied themselves, I do. They are, that's me, and now lack focus in life unless you're hyper-focusing. And, or if you have numerous abandoned hobbies with purchased gear still lying, then it could be, I might have it. But again, like if I have it, I don't want to just take a fucking pill.
Well, maybe there's other ways to manage it than taking a pill.
Yeah, exactly. What time's the up late, lads? The up late is on Patreon. Sign up if you want to get those. That's how you do it. You sign up on Patreon. It's like $1.
And it's released every Thursday.
We're basically your servants. So come on, pay us. And it's every Thursday?
Yeah,
every Thursday. Anyway, I thought that was going to be really eye-opening, but it's just saying you might have it. So anyway. What the hell is behavioral cognitive therapy? What is that?
I suppose it's like a non-medicated version of trying to fix those behavior-related.
Now we're talking.
Change certain behaviors. Apparently, one of the things is like, I remember someone telling me about this, that if you feel like your mind is going all over and you can't focus on something, step aside, move away for like 5 minutes and then come back to it. But you also need the discipline to then come back to it. Otherwise, you just like start watching TikTok.
There's something wrong with me, so I'll have to figure it out.
I don't know, man. Not necessarily.
No, there is. Like, I'm telling you, there's not enough, there's just, something's missing. But I'll figure it out. It's my responsibility, obviously.
Well, so look, there was a few things. You know that kid that got tackled by Scott Morrison?
Yeah.
He wrote a rap song.
Dude.
But it sucks.
Dude, he's just going for he wants the likes.
He doesn't even, I think his grandma wants the likes. He's a 6-year-old kid, 7-year-old kid.
Oh my God.
But his rap sucks, so let's not do that. But the kid seems all right. He's a poor little boy.
That was gold.
A lot of Australians turned out to vote in their budgies.
Mad.
As like a gag, and some fucking underwear company asked people to do it, and they did it. Do you want to see pictures?
Not bad.
Would you have done it?
No.
If you get a lifetime supply of free budgies?
No, because I don't wear those. I wear board shorts.
Yeah. Who wears those?
Yeah.
How do you not? You're not Aussie if you don't wear them.
I just don't. Like, it just feels weird. And I'm like I'm not in great shape. So I look like a fucking creep.
And I suppose you need a good package too.
That's fine.
And good on them.
I'm handled in that zone. It's just the body.
And good on them for doing it in winter too.
That kind of shit.
That's
I
a
love
bold
that.
decision.
I love that about Australia. That kind of shit. You wouldn't get that anywhere else. Yeah.
All right. So then there's this other story from India where a few thieves stole like these gold idols from a temple in India, and then a few days later brought it back with an apology note.
Okay.
Because ever since they stole those idols, they were cursed, and they're saying that they've been getting nightmares ever since.
Sick.
So they came in and they gave all the idols back.
I mean, it's good. I'm glad they cursed you. And
do you believe in curses?
I'm heaps superstitious, dude. I didn't used to be, but I am now. I sometimes it's bad because I'm just like, it's to a detriment. But yeah, I am.
What's your superstition level like?
I seen a ghost with my own 2 peepers. What else?
Does it affect your day-to-day life?
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of what. I can't think of it now, but there's stuff that I'll do that's like, I can't remember.
Is that a thing over here? If a black cat crosses your path,
yeah, I'll avoid
that. Go back. Would
I'll
you do it?
That. Yeah, I'd probably go back. I wouldn't. If I saw a mirror, I wouldn't push it over either. Okay. So shit like that. But nothing too ritualistic. It's just kind of like things that more subconsciously superstitious. Do you know what I mean? Like, I better leave this on for like 5 minutes instead of 20 in case this thing burns down. Just stupid shit like that. It's like not...
Well, that's not superstition. That's just paranoia.
Yeah, maybe just more paranoid. Really a freak. Yeah, maybe just a little bit of paranoia. I'm not super superstitious. Like, you got to throw the salt over your back shoulder. I'm not like that.
Oh, you're not.
And also, I'm starting to believe in karma less.
You don't think karma's a thing? That's some serious pessimism.
I liked Bill Maher's video on it. Did you see it? It's like only Americans could turn karma into a bad thing. It's not about that. It's about pushing on positive energy. It's not about, oh, you did this, so bad karma. It's pathetic. Like, I don't like it's like negative karma, you know, just being like, oh, you better do this or else. It's like, that's not positive. I like the idea of positive karma where it's like pass it on. Try to be positive because maybe there's a positive. Do you know what I mean? Instead of dodging bad behavior because you're
but there should be some detriment to being a dick.
Yeah, there should. I'm not saying it should be an excuse to be like, I don't give a shit. But I'm not like... I think it's a little bit silly.
Do you believe that...
Don't need the excuse to be good.
Do you believe bad people, when they die, something bad happens to them? Even if it's not like going to hell? Do you believe in hell? Do you think like bad people go to hell?
Do I believe in hell? I don't know anymore. I'm kind of in between. I jump between like Catholicism and kind of, what's it called? Like
Taoism.
Yeah, or what's the other one called? Like
Agnosticism?
Agnostic, or sort of, I feel like it's spirituality is an insane journey and you have to read a lot. I think it's a massive task. You can't be a lazy spiritual person, and I'm pretty lazy. So I'm not going to like, I don't know. But
so do you think as someone bad, like,
I don't think bad people go to hell necessarily. I don't think it's a hell where they're like putting pitchforks in their butt.
So you're saying that there's like someone like Hitler, there's no accountability whatsoever?
Probably not, yeah.
That's kind of depressing to think about.
It is, but I think that heaven and hell is on Earth. People are living in hell
Dude,
on Earth.
Hitler, besides the last fucking few months,
He had a good life.
His life was heaven.
You know, maybe, I don't think he's in hell, but maybe there's some sort of spiritual purgatory or some spiritual plane that we can't comprehend, that souls that have like sinned against the laws of man and spirituality are sort of tortured in to a certain degree, but it might not, I don't think it's something that we particularly could understand or comprehend. Does that make sense?
It does, but I still want to believe that there would be some consequence.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That there might be a consequence.
But like you're saying that we just can't, we can't even think about it because
I think we
it's
might not be
beyond us.
That doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
That's a cop out.
I think it's just as much of a cop out to say he's in hell. It's just as much as a cop out.
Maybe when you're about to die, because a bad person knows they're a bad person. Maybe
Not
it's
all
that
of them.
feeling just, maybe not psychopaths,
Yeah.
but like bad people just before they're about to die, maybe they do think about the
Consequences.
not the consequences, but like maybe they just have a bad feeling before they die.
Oh,
they don't
yeah.
die content. Whereas like a good
Yeah.
person does. Maybe even if that's the only
Yeah.
thing that you get, I'm still okay with that. But there's got to be something, dude. Otherwise it's too unfair.
Yeah, I mean,
Because there's cunts that like lead their life
That's
in
true.
such a positive manner. They
Yeah.
always put other people first. Like
that's true.
they deserve something.
But don't you think the self-satisfaction about like righteously knowing that you have been good is a form of heaven? Because if you're on your deathbed and your last sort of state of affairs, that's kind of eternity for you in that moment, I would assume.
Well, I suppose I can only
Dying
answer
freaks
that.
me out.
Dying
Freaks
freaks
me out.
you out
Yeah.
more than it freaks me out. But I suppose like I want to know the feeling of a bad person when they die, and if it's really that bad, then maybe the contentment is okay.
Say it again.
Like if someone that's done horrible things in their life, if they feel really, really bad, then I accept that the good
Right.
person and just
But
the
see-
contentment that they get from their life is good
But
enough.
Hitler probably didn't feel bad because he thought he was doing the right thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably think that they're doing good.
That's the thing, and then it's like hard to say. Someone just said, consequences are as real as the idea of love, justice, freedom, etc. It's the description of an abstract idea that implies a subjective truth. I mean, it's kind of true.
Yeah, I suppose.
And I like this, actually. I mean, we are made from the same atoms and elements that are in space. We probs get recycled into something new, which is probably true. And if there is something like a soul, let's say the soul is just the atoms that are recycled. Because everything is, when we die, our cells they live on. Maybe there is like, you know, like maybe they turn into a black hole, and that's the horrible part. And then like the good ones turn into like molecules on Earth because they're reborn or something.
That's kind of reincarnation, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I'm not saying they come back as a butterfly. I mean, you do grow into a tree if you're fucking. Eventually, you're.
Well, you don't grow into a tree. A tree just sucks up the leftover nutrients that you're.
Sure, but you're a part of it, right?
What if you get cremated?
Your ashes are still gonna fuck off, and there's still elements there. I'm
What
not
if you're
saying it's
projected
conscious.
into space.
If you're projected into space like Hunter S. Thompson was,
Yeah.
what happens then? I suppose you're. I don't know then. Oh fuck. Maybe if you're projected into space, you can never really die. Maybe that's an eternal hell because you can't decompose, right? You don't really decompose, do you?
Poor Hunter S. Thompson.
Poor
I suppose you
Hunter.
do decompose, but it'll take a lot longer.
Do you? The atoms have to go somewhere,
Well, they'll go. They'll form into a black hole.
but they won't go. They'll remain.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Hunter's like, oh man, I really fucked up. Man, this is fucked up.
This is
God
a bad
damn it, I
move.
shouldn't have done all that acid. I don't want to be shot into space.
Yeah, me neither.
I want to remain.
I'm actually I want to be buried.
I don't know what I want.
Would you rather be cremated, or is that going to freak you out just thinking about it?
I kind of want to do the thing where you can grow into a tree. Have you been heard
Yeah,
that one?
Jordan wants to do that.
Or
too.
I want to be put on a record, but that's a bit fucked because then my ashes are stuck in a record and it'll never really break down.
Well, the record would break down because it's so ashy.
No, but it wouldn't. Like, people can hold records forever, right? How long would a vinyl last? Vinyl can last like hundreds of years, surely.
Yeah, if it's kept in like mint
Pristine.
condition.
Yeah, but what if it is?
I don't know if someone would be willing to do that, particularly your great grandchild after 100 years. Like, this is.
I would.
Well, that's because you're a muso.
Imagine if your ashes pressed into a vinyl and the only thing you just live in the vinyl forever and you're like, not another 100 years of this song. I don't know. I think the tree's the best.
Tap dancer hamster wants to be a firework. Go out with a bang.
I mean, it's novel.
I'm going to donate my body to science. Dude, that's really noble.
Yeah, I mean,
I could be convinced to do that.
What's the Muslim way? I want to be buried in the Muslim way.
The Muslim way is just like
made into a kebab.
Ditch, a 6x3 ditch, and you just put your body wrapped around a white cloth in it, and then you just put.
So buried.
Yeah, buried.
Interesting.
But not with a coffin.
Right.
Just with like your bare body wrapped around white sheets.
I mean, it's all. Yeah, I'd probably just. I wouldn't mind the tree thing because it's kind of novel, and someone could come up to the tree and be like, "What's up, buddy?" I want to do the tree thing.
What about this? Someone says, freeze me until they figure out everlasting life. Would you want to take your chances and get frozen?
Before you die. You'd have to do it before you die.
Well, no. You just say, oh, I suppose.
Yeah, of course. You can't die and then get frozen.
Yeah, but when you, let's say you're 80, let's say you're like 90 and about to die. May as well. It's like euthanasia.
Yeah.
Well, you will die once you're frozen.
Yeah, I don't think that's like works yet. Austin Powers isn't a documentary.
Yeah,
like
but they're saying like keep me frozen until they figure that shit out.
I mean,
oh, dude, that reminds me. I want to talk to you about this.
Yeah,
you got to watch this movie on Netflix called Apollo 10.5.
Yeah, what was it?
It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. It's basically it's an animation about life in like the late 60s in America, just at the height of like. The moon landing, and NASA.
Cool.
But the entire thing is, the movie doesn't have a narrative. It's not like a story. It's just a recounting of what life was like then. It's a really weird and interesting thing.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I want you to watch it and tell me what you think. Because either you think it sucks.
Is it on Netflix? Show or movie?
A movie.
Fuck yeah, I'll watch that.
Because I was watching it with my missus, and she was bored out of her mind and thought that was a shit movie because she's like, "There's no narrative in this film," and I was like, "You're right.
I don't mind that.
You are 100% right. However, it's still cool and interesting."
Yeah, I'd
watch it and tell me what you think. Okay. Of it. Has anyone seen it? Has anyone seen Apollo 10.5?
Yeah, has anyone seen it?
Can someone give me?
See, I'm getting that crash now. I'm getting the carb crash.
Yeah, you want it.
I fucking hate it, dude.
Is it in Pakistani only films? Yes. No, it's by that guy who
by the way, it's very cute that your girlfriend's name on Facebook messages is Pretty Woman. She just said, I did not like it. I was just bored or something like that. She just messaged you.
Oh, she's
Pretty woman walking down the street, pretty woman. Do you know who sang that?
Was it what's her name?
For shame.
Nancy Sinatra?
Roy Orbison.
Ooh, okay.
He was just Elvis too. He had a really tragic life. His whole family died in a house fire like twice or something.
What do you mean?
Something crazy shit happened to him. His whole family died in a house fire and something else terrible happened.
He's like Joe Biden.
What happened to him?
Dude, Joe Biden's life is tragic as hell.
How's that?
Well, his entire family died in a car accident. No, except for one son, his entire family died in a car accident.
What?
Then
holy shit.
That one son that survived died of cancer.
Fuck.
Later, Beau Biden.
Jesus.
He's had a tough life.
That's fucking brutal. I'm glad he got Prezi. He deserves it. That's brutal.
All right, well, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks a lot. Now I'm hungry. Pathetic.
We started early, so we finish early.
Yeah, started early, finish early.
Jordan's going to be back from next week.
Yep, he'll be back. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. We don't get these serious conversations with Jordan.
Dr. Phil edition.
Anyone want us to send me to remind me, because I have ADHD, to remind me how to get the ADHD thing? Feel free. I'm making a pledge to everyone right now. I gonna be a health god. From tomorrow, I'm gonna start trying to cut out carbs, and I'll at least eat in an 8-hour window. So 8 o'clock at night, I'm not going to eat after that.
I wish you the best, and we all aspire to do the same, or at least I aspire.
I'm going to try. And like, I like chicken and salad, like whatever. I think it'll...
Caesar salad?
No, not Caesar salad.
Jordan hates Caesar salad.
I love it, but just smoke some meth. Yeah, so I'm going to try to do it because I just need to make some like radical changes. And then like maybe the problem is when I was in the office here all the time, there's a gym here. So I'd work out like 3 to 4 days a week, sometimes 5. Now that it's not here, I'm just like, I'm lazy and shit and I don't do shit. But I got to. I'm going to try.
I do that thing where I pay for a gym but never actually go to it.
Yeah, we've all done that. But yeah, wish me luck.
They're saying try to focus on your sleep quality too.
Yeah, my sleep's been not that bad recently.
Oh yeah, by the way, it's not just carb, sugars as well.
I don't drink any soft drink. I don't do that. And I don't usually put sugar in my tea or coffee. So like, where do I get sugar from? I don't think I drink that much sugar. A bit of juice. I barely drink fruit. I don't have much fucking...
Dude, the jury is... I don't know. Like, a lot of people get offended by it. The jury is a bit out on fruits, too.
Oh,
Hugh Jackman was saying that in order to get, like, his incredible X-Men body, he also had to eliminate fruits from his diet.
Well, I don't eat much fruit. So, like, veggies. Anyway, sugars are fine. I don't fucking eat that much sugar. I just don't. I don't really eat that much sugar.
Well, thanks for joining. We will see you guys next week.